Wednesday evening, so you know what that means. It is time once again for Outlaw Radio. My name is Kevin Barnes. Metaphorically, I am the mayor and architect of Chocolate City. Metaphorically, I'm also the world-class smartass, militant with a mouthpiece, the microphone of the movement. Man, I'm so many different things. Most people just call me the world-class smartass or the Negro Whisperer. Welcome to Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night. A little cold, but hey, the sun is shining. So how y'all doing, man? This is what we do on Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time until whenever we cut the machine off. I actually have, surprisingly, a full panel tonight. I'm kind of thrilled by it because there's normally nobody here at this time. So shout out to y'all for coming on time. And in Courtney's case, being early, Juice Lady, what it do? How you doing tonight?
Well, I just happened to look out the window when you said the sun was shining, and the sun isn't out right now. So you probably should revamp that, seeing that the show starts at 7:30 and the sun isn't out. Just saying.
That's what you want.
Sorry.
I was referring to the day in its entirety. See, some people look at the small picture. I look at the big picture. It's macro versus micro.
Am I small-minded, Kev? Is that how we starting the show?
You a little micro. You was a little minute in this case.
Okay, just all right.
Tunnel vision. I was talking about the whole day.
Okay.
Rel, what it do, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here. Just that daylight savings starting to creep up on me, man. I've been noticing myself feeling a little sluggish. So
the circadian rhythm.
Yeah, man. That's how it happened. You might not feel it that first week, but that second week of losing that hour build up until your body get adjusted. So I just had to make sure I stepped up my vitamins and shit, step up my water intake so that don't nothing too crazy happen, because your circadian rhythm off, it fucks with your immune system sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Holding on. Witch Doctor, you are here, but the craziest part is Courtney was here early and Rel was here on time, and you super late. What did it do?
You late as hell. What's going on, man?
I ain't that damn late.
Your circadian rhythm off.
That's right. What's going on?
Hey, but no, I had to close the store today.
It's all good. Welcome to the show.
Taylor G couldn't make it in today. I had to close it out.
Okay.
Shit, you got to do sometimes. How you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Everything is a blessing.
Yes, it is, and I'm very happy to say we do have a guest tonight. I feel like he's a part of like a honorary outlaw. He's been on
pretty much
so many times, man. Even way back to when I was doing it here, he sat in this very studio with me. My brother, tell these people who you are and what you do.
Well, good evening, and thanks again for inviting me, Kevin. Thank you all for basically giving me a little bit start of an entertainment this evening.
Yeah, it gets pretty wacky around here.
Yeah, just hold on a minute. Give us a minute.
Yeah, he knows he's been here.
Wait till we get warmed up.
Kamar said we are hilariously informative. I said that's dope. I pinned it to my Facebook page.
Yeah, that's dope.
Listen, man, there's a number to the show. It's 262-202-5131. If you want to call in and be a part of the conversation, the chat room always pops. Either way, the show is interactive to a certain extent. The actual name of the show, the theme of the show tonight is Buyer Beware. And I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with what that really means. You got to be careful with what you're purchasing, right? There's a Latin, this comes from a Latin phrase, caveat emptor, right? Buyer beware. When we run to these booths, when we sign these declarations or these people come out with a poll, can you sign my poll? Can you sign me on the ballot? You sign up, you're purchasing. Buyer beware. This may not be what you all think it is. I see people cheerleading for our mayor, city, state of the city, and then our brother DC Crowley, the state of the county address. And then he gave this speech where he's talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'm like, my brother, you just signed off on a tax increase that says there will be no funding for any of that. So what you talking about?
It don't mean he don't care about it though. Like Dave cares about it, but he's also on the Chris Abele plan since that's who's his financials. But it don't mean that ain't what he cares about. He wants you to know he care about it. That's just not in the budget.
So
I care about it though.
So you'll say it around us, but you won't say it in front of Massa Abele. Is what
He
you're
probably
saying?
Did. He probably asked him, and he was like, "Dave, no, it's not in the budget."
I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Right, right.
You right. I'm tripping. It's just crazy.
They all went to the same school, and that is the Mega Corporation School of Theft.
I thought it was called Bayview.
Look, I was gonna say Bayview. Let's see.
And
Now
that's
y'all
real.
know why I do the things I do. I went there. See,
They
now
all
it's
went to Bayview. This is
full circle.
This is what was the name of the social service agency? Underground. They were all a part of this. I forget what it's called. Yeah,
Urban Underground.
Urban Underground. There you go. There you go. So I'm just saying, and that's connected to Reggie Moore to a certain extent. If you know, you know. Robert, you see, I'm already early. I'm already in on these people. I brought you in because you and I had a very interesting conversation about the state of the city address. We'll start with Lil Buddy downtown. That's what we call him affectionately here on the show, Lil Buddy.
Lil Buddy.
Lil Buddy downtown.
Buddy.
You know, his state of the city address, and I of course I ran it over it on the show here. Some other people did, but he referenced FLAC, or he didn't reference FLAC. He referenced lead pipe lateral removal. Okay,
Right.
and so that's what kind of set me off. So I said, then I'm gonna get Robert Miranda on here because I exposed all the hubbish with the rest of most of what he talked about. But according to him, he said that they have this plan and they are basically going to focus on the most disenfranchised neighborhood and work backwards. So have you been informed of this, or where's FLAC at on this?
The plan that was put out is called the equity plan, is what they call it. And it's a plan, as you had just indicated, to focus on the most deprived, most desperate areas in need of the removal of these lead pipes, because these are the areas that have been mostly harmed, and most of those areas are located in the north side of Milwaukee and parts of the south side, particularly in Walker's Point area, where most of the pipes are the oldest in the city, and then most of all of the north side, where most of those pipes were put in between the years of 1860 all the way until about 1950. And, you know, if you know the science about these pipes being in service for almost 130 to 140 years, the science on these pipes is you're supposed to be removing these pipes every 60 to 70 years. So these pipes have been underground for over 130, 140 years, depending on neighborhoods. And the corrosion and the deterioration of these pipes have been releasing so much lead into the water that over the years, from at least and mind you, in 1962, the city of Milwaukee knew this was a problem because they already banned the use of lead pipes that year. And then in 1986, the United States government banned the use of lead pipes to be installed as a service to the homes to bring in tap water. But getting back to Milwaukee, they've known this has been a major issue in public health for many decades. And so as the north side started increasing in Black population, especially here in Milwaukee, the idea of maybe removing them after they banned them in 1962 didn't become such a good idea, because they knew that lead in water was affecting IQ levels, was affecting mental health, was affecting all kinds of things with populations in the past. But because those populations in the past were white and were able to move out of that situation faster than the black family was able to move out of those areas. They didn't say much because they could deal with having some white folk getting poisoned for a little bit, but we're going to keep this here because we want the black folk to stay poisoned forever.
See,
And
now when we put it in a, we put things in a racial kind of context, right?
right.
We always say, is that racist? That's one of the things every time we ask ourselves a question on the show, we say, but is that racist? So is it specifically because this is where black people lived, or is this a financial thing?
Well,
a cost the city didn't want to undertake.
It would be argued that it was a financial thing, but the more they realized how it affected the general health and well-being, in my opinion, in the general health and well-being of the black community, it became a no-brainer to leave it alone and don't speak about it.
Because we're not really represented and we didn't have people in place saying, now tell me this. What year is the first comprehensive research done on the lead levels in the water here?
The first real comprehensive research that was done, and not just here in Milwaukee, but here in the United States, a lot of that was done in the 1800s. A major comprehensive research was done back in 1930s, in the 1930s in Massachusetts, where they were able to show that lead poisoning through water was indeed contributing to the elevation of crime in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So there are studies out there that have been out there showing this has been a problem.
So it ain't the crack babies, it's the lead babies.
Well,
we were saying ain't no sense. We went through this whole thing about this term crack baby.
Yeah.
And we decided that you could call it many different kinds of babies. Cigarette baby.
That's what they want you to focus on.
Right. Liquor baby. And there is fetal alcohol syndrome, so I'm not making fun of that. But okay, so with all of that knowledge, this plan Little Buddy talked about, this is actually legitimate. They moving forward with this. Where are you all involved with?
I'm not happy with the plan. And the reason why I'm not happy with the plan, it's not comprehensive enough. It is a feel-good plan. It is a plan that makes it look like things are being done, but the plan is very wanting, and it lacks a major component. A major component of the plan that is lacking is a major public education campaign. Now, they could say that we're going to remove lead pipes and we're going to get these things out of these neighborhoods. But what they are not saying is, what are they doing to ensure that the community is going to be protected from lead water poisoning once the construction efforts begin? Because once a lot of these blocks start going through a lot of construction work to remove these pipes, there are going to be a lot of water mains being disturbed. There are going to be a lot of pipes being disturbed. And there is research that was done in the city of Antioch, Illinois, that shows that when mains were being removed in that area, homes that were about 20 to 25 miles away started experiencing increases in lead in the water. And that's because as these people are jostling and banging away at removing these pipes, all these other pipes are reacting by shaking. And when they're shaking, they're releasing lead particles into the water. And so what is missing from this plan that they're putting out there is what they are going to do to protect and inform the community of how to take precautionary measures to protect their family from lead and water poisoning once all of this construction begins. That is a major, major flawed plan without that component in there. And to this day, I have not. I'm waiting for the health department, because I'm trying to get in there and sit down with they bummy ass to sit down and talk to them about putting together a major public education initiative to inform families on protecting themselves once this effort to remove these pipes begin.
Okay. Let me catch my chat room. If you're just tuning in, it's Outlaw Radio, Buyer Beware. It's Wednesday night. We got the whole crew here. Even the juice lady was early, so where was your ass at, right? If the juice lady was early, right? Jesse Parrish out in Denver. Peace, he says. Shout out to him and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced and Frontline Black News. Michael S. Harper in the chat room. Blessings, Outlaw Radio. My brother, I've been kicking up dust, man. I'm upset with little buddy for endorsing a white woman over you. Yeah, I said it. Said it out loud. I'm upset with the mayor, and I think he should be called on the carpet for endorsing a white woman over this brother. This brother's been on the show. Super, super capable, super competent. Probably the best thing that could happen for us politically in this city is to get somebody who looks like us fucking with the money. You always say follow the money. So shame on him, man. Shame on him. He's the reason why I'm voting for Donald Duck. He walked it great. He said everything. He said, Kamar, he said, you got to warm up. Kamar always stingy with his energy when he late. Y'all just got to, that's Kamar's, that's his form of pouting, right? I'm just not going to bring my energy then since y'all want to joke about me being late.
You didn't even read the statement right, Kev. You didn't read it the way he typed it.
Well, did you want to volunteer to read the rest of it?
You said everything Kamar guy has to warm up.
Oh, okay.
Because you crack the jokes about his computer warming up.
Oh, okay.
Crack the jokes about. You got to say it right, Kev.
See, imagine the wonderful things that could happen if you was always here on time. Right? See how good you are? You keep it flowing. You're the glue. We need you.
You know, sometimes it's good to come in somewhere late, Kevin.
Well, she's always late. Right.
Don't do that, Kev. Don't do that.
I mean, I feel like you came for me, so I was just swinging.
I be here. That's what matters. I'm here.
Right. Thank your lucky stars. Dion in the chat room, he said, family, I'm in the house. How you doing? And Courtney is correct. I did misread that statement, so thank you. Let me see. Mama Jenkins, I bet you don't misread this one. She said, good evening, my Outlaw family. Let's make it do what it do. Beware of what you vote for. And I still mess it up. Beware of what you vote for. You're buying piss poor leadership. Hey, my good friend, Big Robert. That's my stomping ground friend, ground stumping friend. Wealth of knowledge to gather again tonight. The
words right there, Kev.
Yeah, man. I'm remedial tonight.
I figured it. It's okay.
Earl Henny in the chat room, he said they don't care about us. Yeah, I think that's a unified statement, right? I think everybody agrees with that. Mama Jenkins said, how many been completed? And where's the case study on how many have been replaced as of this date? I'm agreeing with that. That's what I wanted to know. Like he called it out and said they have this going. So is this something that's in the plans or has it started? And we'll give Robert a chance to answer that when I wrap up the chat. John Fletcher, shout out to EPU Personal Defense. When I take these comments down, you'll see the website for EPU Self-Defense. He said, can we boil the water or water filters? From what I know, boiling water, lead water makes it worse. I'm going to give Rob a chance to answer all of this. I'm just trying to get my chat room clear because I get behind and then y'all see people be on my heels. Jesse says, say it with your chest, Kev. Jeff Crape said, the motherfucking Outlaws. How you doing, Jeff? Earl Henning said, little buddy must go April 2nd. I'm just kind of concerned that's not going to happen. I'm thinking he's going to be around a while. Jeff Crape said, what I missed in 17 minutes, you have to go back and watch it over. It was crazy. No, you ain't missing it. Dion said, right. Courtney was here early. You should have seen it.
You missed it.
Dion said, we don't want to hear that shit, Courtney.
What does OMM mean, Kev? I wanted you to say what that meant. I wanted you
my
to
mama. Is that
right,
on my
Kev?
mama?
Go ahead. And Dion, we don't want to hear that shit from you today either. Now, don't be calling in.
I said, when you gonna slide me that letter, Dion? I got you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got you. But yeah. So Robert, I talked about boiling the water because we want to talk about if they do start it, which would be phenomenal if they start this operation. People say, "Can I boil my water? Should I use a filter?" What should people do to avoid the water?
Well, that's part of the whole argument that we're bringing in regards to the public education campaign, because people will automatically assume that they should boil the water. And when you boil water, it's really to destroy living mechanisms that are not good for you in the water, like cryptosporidium. At the time, when they told us to boil the water, when that happened, that was the appropriate thing to do because it's a biological thing.
Right.
But the situation in this case, you do not boil water when lead is involved because lead is a heavy metal. And when you boil that water, what you have done is you have made that metal stronger and more toxic. So that's a very dangerous thing to do, to boil lead in water, which they did not warn us about when they told us to boil the water during that time of cryptosporidium. And if you look at the numbers, you will see that from that time when they told us to boil the water in those years in 1993, and when people were boiling water, a lot of our children were drinking that water. Well, guess what? When you look at the steady growth of crime that happened from 1993 till about 2017, you'll see that it reflects the ages of those people, those children who were drinking water at the time when they were growing up. That water messed up their head, and lead messes up your ability to rationalize, be logical, do all kinds of things. And you could see that the crime levels from that time to now have been rising steadily. And this is very, very scientifically proven with several research studies already out there. But again, you don't boil the water. You need to use filters for sure. But again, they don't tell you, do not use warm water or hot water with filters. If you use warm water or hot water with filters, you're damaging the charcoal, you're damaging the components of the filter when you do that. You can only use filters with cold water. That's why they always say, use only cold water. They don't tell you why, they just say use only cold water. Well, the reason why is because if you use warm or hot water, you damage the filters and the filters become useless.
Okay.
This is part of that whole education campaign that they need to get on once they start doing this work.
But then I look at my chat room, shout out to Fletch. Well, Earl Henning says buying water from the store is best. But what we found out is that bottled water, especially that's been sitting in heaven knows where in storage, is not healthy either, because the plastic pretty much does the same thing that the lead pipe laterals do, which is kind of leak into the poisons off the plastic, kind of leak into the water.
You're talking about PFAs, right?
Yeah. Those guys.
And that is true. There are certain bottles, however, that are safe, but they don't employ those bottles because they cost more. They're heavier made plastic.
It usually is say on the bottle too.
Right. I always tell people there are alternatives. You can. There's a charity. There's a group out here called Canned Water for Kids that provide canned water to protect us from this stuff. They're out there. People can look them up. You can order it. It is expensive, but if you really want to save and protect your children, get filters or go there. Or our group, what we have done is we have made a program where we supply up to 15 gallons, I think, of water a week, that we have an industrial filter that is poured, and we give that out to folks. I'll be happy to share that with you, Kev. That information, you can get it out later. But the point is, without a real comprehensive public education campaign to enlighten folks on what precautionary measures they need to take in regards to protecting their families, all we're doing is setting up our community with major health issues if this doesn't happen.
Okay, man, and shout out to Fletch. He says, "Damn, keep preaching. Need this information. Facts. All roads lead to public safety." Yes, it's good to be in the know. So I mean, but I think when I hear this about using a filter, drinking bottled water, and all of this, one thing comes to mind. I still got to take a shower, and so, and this is now it's on my skin, it's in my eyes, it's in my hair.
We are definitely absorbing it in other ways.
I know where you're going with that. Now, let me say this, and this is through again medical research that was done on this as well. If you're taking a shower, you're taking a bath, and you're in there for about 10-15 minutes, you're not absorbing lead in your skin. It becomes a problem when you are laying in a pool or laying in your tub and you're in there for about 5-6 hours, and then you start seeing your skin turn into a prune. Okay. That's when it becomes a problem, because your skin then is so soft that it's able to get in through the pores that way.
Okay.
So if you're showering, if you're bathing, as long as you're not in there to the point where you start seeing your skin turning into prune and wrinkling and all, you should be all right. But once you're in there for a long time, you're in the swimming pool and all you're doing is hanging out at the pool for 6 or 7 hours lounging, and your toes start showing all those wrinkles, there's a good chance your feet might be absorbing some of that lead if there's lead in that water.
I always, not for nothing, but as a grown man, I always thought like taking a bath is disgusting because you're sitting in dirty water. Like that's why it's like you should just take a shower. Like you're just sitting in dirty water. You rubbing it all over yourself. It's like
I take a shower and I use a washcloth.
Yeah, I always just thought people say I'm gonna take a bath. Like you're still gonna stink when you get out. But that's
most people shower a little bit after they do a little rinse off. Well, I can't even say most people. Some people, a few people I know. We ain't gonna say most. But
you brought that number all the way down. A lot of a few. Well, you know what? I know
right. Everybody don't do that.
Well,
I'll take it back.
After I soak in the tub, I definitely rinse off because I throw some Epsom salt. I make CBD bath soaks, so I soak in the Epsom salt and CBD, and then when it's time to get out or when I'm done with the tub or bath, I take a shower as the water going down.
I'm assuming y'all ain't doing all this shit before work because I don't be having that much time. Like let me
tub is more
so before I go to work.
In the evening.
Evening for rejuvenation,
relaxation,
off
day, something like that.
It ain't really to get clean. Work. You hopefully clean before the tub,
right?
You don't want nothing floating in there with you.
You're doing that more sort of relaxed, like Real said. Yeah,
I was soaking before work.
Let me take
what? Mama Jiggins said, "Always learn something new."
Yep.
Like the filters. Yes, that's very valuable knowledge for people. Once again, if you didn't hear him. He said, if you're going to get water filters, don't run hot water through them because it ruins them. So, yeah, that's a nice little nugget.
I forgot one point on the filters. Always remember, and this is important, when you're buying filters, look for the model that is the strongest and the best. And the model filter that you should be buying, and it's on the boxes, is what they call NSF 53. NSF 53.
Okay.
That is the model filter you need to be buying.
Okay. Earl is making another good point saying you brush your teeth with it.
It doesn't matter if it's Brita, it doesn't matter if it's Shitta, whatever. As long as it's NSF 53, you are buying the best possible filter to protect you from lead particles getting in your body through through water.
Yeah, I'm looking at Earl saying, but we brush our teeth with. See, I want people to understand the extent of the danger in this, because we all use water. Like people, we cook with water. You say, don't boil the water because it got lead, but you boiling noodles, pasta, soup, all kinds of stuff. So you boiling this stuff right into your food.
Exactly.
So it's that kind of thing where it's like the danger of us all coming into contact with some kind of contaminated water source is great. You know what I'm saying? So I think people need to understand that.
Yep. And there are research that shows that people who have done that, there is research that shows that when you do boil pasta that has lead in water, the research that showed that 9 out of 10 times there's enough lead in that pasta to equal the size of a dime paint chip.
Wow. And y'all know black people love noodles too. Black people will throw some noodles on. You got a whole dime in the pan with your noodles.
And my people love rice. So they
they
boil in that water in that rice, and in that rice they're eating about a dime to a nickel size lead paint chip.
Wow, that's crazy.
Sheesh.
It's funny. I love my chat room because it's so interactive, to the point where people are like talking about me like I'm not here, but they in the chat room and we on the show. Like Courtney's calling me slow.
Did you even put Ewok's comment up first before you went to mine? Dang.
Well, see, I have an order of what I do, and so I usually put the comments up based on the priority. So I was gonna get to his, but I was looking.
I was responding to his, so his should have been first.
All right. See, I know what Ewok gonna say. That's all right. It's okay. I'm paying attention.
It was just that he thanked me for paying attention, because, like, in the beginning, you were wrong when you read his statement. That's
I can't believe you're still talking about that. This is Women's History Month, ain't it? I get it now.
I know you can't wait for it to be over. That's how you
will bring some shit up. Remember that day in 1942 when you had said, and you was wrong that day. You be like, God damn, how you remember that shit? They never forget anything. That's my point.
Superpower.
Okay. or one hell of a spur. Earl Henning said 2 people I know don't bathe or shower, and that's bad. Earl, that's not the type of person you want to ride in the car with. That's not a good thing. Samantha Collier, how you doing, my sister? Hey, Outlaws. Samantha and Ticey and Crystal Ship, I believe, will all be on Monday, right? They'll be on Monday. Yeah. We gotta do something for Women's History Month. You started it off by starting some shit tonight, so we just gonna continue.
I was just waiting on you to, you know what I'm saying, celebrate me for a minute. Right. Where my little sounds at? I don't get no sounds or nothing, no bells.
No, I'll give you one. Here you go. Hey, Robert. So April 2nd is coming up, right? April 2nd is coming up, and it's vote time. I've been making a lot of splish splash about these elections. I'm really upset about the way the city's been run. I'm unhappy. As a taxpayer, I'm unhappy. And I feel like people should be disgruntled. How do you feel? And about your options? Because somebody asked me a question like, hey, well, where's the David King signs? And I don't have anything. Is he still running? Or maybe since little buddy won 92%, he was like, forget it. But how you feeling going into this election?
Well, you know, it's really a no-brainer. We've had and we continue to have weak leadership in the city. We don't have anybody willing to step up and take some leadership and really move resources towards where they really need to be. And there's no one talking about stabilizing neighborhoods in our city. There's no one talking about improving and increasing every effort to improve the roads in our neighborhoods. There's no one talking about making sure that the services for picking up garbage in our neighborhoods is being adequately funded so that there is no area in our neighborhoods that is showing mountains of litter and garbage at some empty lot on the block. You know, there's no one out there talking about opening up programs in order to give a lot of our children, a lot of our teenagers, alternatives to being in the streets and doing things that are not going to be good for their future. You know, it's all about how we can improve the Deer District, how we can make Camelot much more beautiful and much better for people to come and visit Camelot, how we can improve things with the lakefront and bring in tourism, how we can do and spend so much money to make sure that the Brewers stay here forever and the Bucks ain't going to ever go away. Nobody gives a damn about the families of Milwaukee. Nobody cares about fighting for improving neighborhood safety, neighborhood cleanliness, neighborhood stability. Nobody. Everybody's just looking to please the people who have big pockets and who want the taxpayer to fund many of their business programs.
Well, I thought it was funny when he made this commercial with these kind of, safer. The streets are 20. They actually said like 23% safer. I'm like, how the fuck you measure that? Like, who did the math on that? According to this, it's 23% safer to drive on the streets. Meanwhile, blocks west, east, south, and north of you, there's tremendous accidents where people are losing their lives. Right from where you did the press conference, right from where you did the commercial. Like, I just have found this dude to be disingenuous. This whole, like, I feel like he's a dude that'll glamour you, who'll just say whatever and have this whole other agenda. And I do think there's another agenda here. And let me catch the chat room. Samantha said we're bringing the team. She said they're gonna talk about #Sam. Thank you for having us, family. We appreciate your purpose and platform for action.
But that's what people like, Kev. Nowadays, even when it comes to dating, a lot of people don't like the truth. A lot of people just want to hit you with a fly. They just want a fly ass lie. Just make them feel good. Just tell me something nice. And that's kind of how it is just with the people. It's crazy how people don't. They cool with a fly ass lie. It's just I don't know, Kev.
Well, I mean, people like to be glamored. You want me to just bullshit you so you can feel better when, like me telling you cute when you really ugly. Like, oh no, you look so pretty, but you like really ugly. I mean,
so
people
don't
say ugly, Kev. But you know what I'm saying. So you know somebody said you like this, and you said yeah, and then your mind is like that's some bullshit. Ewok is correct. He said,
girls, girls do it to each other all the time.
Right? Oh, girl, you wearing that purse?
Man, hey, look, or let it be one of they big fat girlfriends, and they finna go out. Then she come out in this onesie or some shit.
Oh, did you just
like, you killing them? You killing them, girl? Go get them, girl. You killing them?
Right?
Did you just fat shame?
The bullshit.
You just fat shame, Kamar. You shame the fat girl for wearing a onesie. Shame on you.
No, I ain't shaming them. Their friends are shaming them.
The big fat girl came out with a onesie.
Because Kev, like you say, they go right back and be like, "You see that bullshit that motherfucker had on?" They
do. Women will side talk the shit out of you.
I'm so happy you didn't call the fat girl Precious this time, Kev. At least it was just a regular fat girl, no name put to it.
Right. It's always my fault at the end of the day. Somehow, I didn't even say it. He said it. Right. Like it's all good. It's all good. He should have just said Gabby come out with a onesie on. Then I would have been like, oh, not Precious.
Oh my God.
Gabby got a man now though, so he'd probably be gassing her like, oh baby, that's so fly. You look thick. She'd be like, hey.
Why can't it be genuine? Why it gotta be?
Because I was watching Martin, and it was the episode where Cole was at the bar with Big Shirley. Remember how big she was? If you watch Martin, when she drank the whole pitcher of beer, we off track. Earl Henry said, "Bring the Commandos back." Man, wouldn't that be something? Earl, I'm here to tell you, I think those days might be gone. Samantha said we need to normalize healthy truth, not a fly lie. This is true. This is very true.
We need to tell the truth out here. Tell us the truth, Cavi. What's going on? What you finna do?
Dion said, if I'm alive in 4 years, I'm gone. I'm tired of all this bullshit.
Hey, if I'm alive in 4 years?
Yeah. He said, hey, man.
We just be positive.
Never know. Jesse Parrish said, I don't understand it either, Juice Lady. Dion said they keep raising taxes. The superintendent of the school makes almost $500,000, and they keep raising taxes. This is true. He does. He makes $260,000 a year. Listen, and that's another thing we talked about on here. The irony of our mayor, and it's not even an irony, it's just basically a game where he says he has, and the way he said, well, as far as the housing authority go, I mean, they good. I think they'll be okay. And I heard they got their stuff together and everything's going well. I'm like, bruh, the federal government literally has come in here and taken control of HUD and Section 8 because they said it was fraud, that they were committing fraud. And you said, no, they good. This is who y'all want as your mayor. It's like, this motherfucker will piss on your head and tell you it's raining. Like, for real. Like, I'm buyer beware. All right. You know, it looks good. You think, hey, here's a black man, and let's and I'm saying, nah, man, I don't think that's the case. So what do you think about the lack of options? Because, like people say, who am I supposed to vote for?
We got a lack of options every election. I mean, shit. We had a lack of options like that.
We didn't pick the people who we picking from.
Right. It's always a lack of options. I don't even know.
The option that is there is, if you want to vote this year, don't vote. Just in the next election, start organizing before the next election for the person that you want and give them a healthy number of people to be working on their campaign so that they don't have to go out and fight against the thousands and thousands of dollars that are going to be thrown into the coffers of the people who are screwing us. Because if you organize to get a candidate you want, raise that individual up, give them all the support, give them all the people power that you can give them, that's your candidate.
Right.
But if you don't organize and if you don't find a person in the streets, in the community that you want in office, if you don't, they're going to put somebody in there for you. And so the people that are out there now that are trying to get elected, they don't have the kind of money that's needed to win these kind of elections.
Well, they damn sure don't got $700,000 to give to somebody to run for county executive.
Exactly.
No.
You only gave he only gave the mayor $200,000. But I'm sure he was.
People like Abley are throwing all kinds of money to individuals who he knows are going to do what he wants them to do.
This is the truth.
Kev, you ready?
As far as for what?
To be mayor. Are you ready for us to push you up, stand behind you?
No. Never. No.
Robert, somebody already put you up next. You next. Are you ready? Somebody put in the chat. Look, we standing behind you.
But I want to, like, even that other agenda that I'm talking about. And he says it when he keeps saying to you, my main concern is to increase the population of this city.
Right.
Black people. He ain't talking to y'all.
That's right.
He's not talking to you.
Right.
He is talking to the millennials, the grandbabies of the boomers who have homes and who have credit and who have equity and who have investments and all kinds of things, to say, come on back to where your grandparents ran from. And we're going to get rid of those less than fortunate individuals and make this a really urbanized modern day community. And that's how we're going to bring people back. None of that involves the multitude of black people that make up 46% of this city at this current moment.
That's right. He's gonna bring in the population that will dwindle the percentage of black folk in this city, so that the power structure of this city will never be threatened by the black vote. If it ever decides to bring in an individual, the community organizes around and puts him in power. They are looking to reduce that percentage of black folk in this city, and he is willing to help make that happen. That's a damn shame.
Well, that's what I'm saying to my people. Like, you got to understand, where's the hood at? Say Central City, the near north side. It's all around downtown Milwaukee. I mean, we have one of the poorest housing developments sitting 15 minutes from a $500 million stadium. How long you think that's gonna last? Gentrification,
right,
is the answer. It's not crime reduction. It's not financial empowerment. It's not community investment. It's gentrification. Meaning move people away, and then redevelop on our terms.
That's right.
So I want people to understand. So in 4 years, when you look around and say, damn, something about the community done changed. Because listen,
Stop blunder.
right. Well, what the hell? What is she doing over here? Like, is that, black people always assume you see somebody white, either they're the police or a drug addict. Like, either she looking for some crack or she looking for some crack, right? Trying to buy some or catch somebody with some. So all of a sudden, that's going to be the norm. And they're going to redevelop this area. I keep telling people about the jewels of architecture, the Frank Lloyd Wright designed homes, all these classic structured homes, these big these homes with these big wooden interior hardwood floors and old craftsmanship. They're gonna come in and get all that shit. Hey, and then they'll put our ass out there by the meadows, like Courtney always say.
They got a nice model, and I'll tell you, I know they're looking what Chicago has been doing to gentrify. I grew up in Chicago, South Side. I grew up in Inglewood. I grew up over out by 55th and Halsted. When I was growing up, that area was black and brown. It was mostly black. It was brown. Over the years, it got much more percentage-wise black. Now, in the last 10, 15 years, all of a sudden, there are white neighborhoods where there never was in 50 years in Inglewood. They're bringing them back into the south side of Chicago, into Inglewood area, by doing, like you said, there are housing over there that are just solid brick houses, solid wood structure homes, very, very spacious homes. And they're bringing all those white people back into Inglewood over there in the south side of Chicago. They're doing that here again in Milwaukee. And I point to Walker's Point, where the Latino community used to be in large numbers in Walker's Point. You go to Walker's Point today, even though you'll see businesses that have Latino sounding names and all these Spanish names, look at the owners and you'll see most of those owners are white.
Okay. But they've done this in New York. They've done it in Detroit. They've done it in Philadelphia. They've done it everywhere. And so what I find interesting is.
And that's why it has to be a people movement to get behind a candidate that the people select, find that candidate.
See, that's what I'm saying, Robert. I find this interesting that with all of this we're talking about, and this is all mostly perpetuated in the brown and the black community. I personally don't feel like we have a connection. I don't feel like we've gotten together and said, listen, man, we got to stand together and make some change. I feel like we're still separated. They say divide and conquer.
Right.
Like and this city is so segregated.
Right.
It's so segregated. We don't really live in shared communities. And now there's more Latinos over here on the north side than I've ever seen, but they pretty much stay to themselves. They don't really socialize with us. So that's an issue in Milwaukee as well. And vice versa with black people.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was thinking like even trying to get people together to have that type of conversation. I know it's this guy now, Jakai. He's having these intergenerational conversations, maybe like twice a month or something like that. I know it's one this weekend. But even trying to have or go into combos like that and then talk about us getting together and coming up with a candidate together and how many of those different meetings you would have to try to organize around the city on the regular and trying to, then it's the levels of trying to get people from young folks to old folks and just, that whole first off trying to get the collaboration of black folks. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get us together. No one accord.
The buffers that are out there helping the system, helping the syndicate in this city to keep us divided. And there are buffers out there that they use to help them divide us. And they look like us. They may be skin folk, but they ain't kin folk, as they say.
Where have we heard that before?
And so you have to identify that leadership, because that's the leadership that's going to come in and confuse people. That's the leadership that's going to come in and try to derail a real people movement in the community. And those people have to be discredited and shown to be nothing more than the puppets of the master living in Camelot.
But we have so I will say this, and I feel like Latino people have more solidarity than we do as foundational Black Americans. So do you all feel like, or do you feel like there's a Latino agenda right now? Like it, because we said we don't have a Black agenda at all. So do you feel like your community has an agenda, and by and large people are buying in and they just, chasing the dream?
The agenda in the Latino community is not as homogeneous as people think. It's not as united as people think, because the ethnicities of the Latino community still are different.
Right. Okay.
You have large influxes of El Salvadorians coming in. You have large influxes of Venezuelans coming in. You have large influxes of Colombians coming in. So there's not real unity among the Latino diaspora as people might think. However, there is a common ground in that they understand that they need to build a better life for their families and their community. And even though there's differences, cultural, ethnicity, and others, there is a common ground. And so if we could come up with a common ground between Black and brown, saying, look, that common ground between us is to ensure stability and community and family viability. We can work together to achieve that. It don't matter if you live in the north side or south side, but if we're achieving this for the whole of the city, then we should be able to work together to accomplish that.
Okay.
What if some people are worried that the government gonna snuff them out like they did Fred Hampton? It's a lot of people that think about that. They think about, getting together and making things happen, but then a lot of people know, usually death may come with that.
Yes.
I think if you worried about that, then don't do what you're doing.
That is
it's like if that scares you, stop right now, because that's an occupational hazard. It could happen. So
that is the lesson of the 1960s.
Right.
That is the lessons of the Black Panthers, of the Young Lords. The Young Lords and the Black Panthers worked in New York and Chicago, all over, bringing Black and brown together. And they saw how strong that could be. And the Young Lords were all Puerto Ricans. The Brown Berets were all Mexicans. They were working with the Black Panthers. They were working with other groups. They were working with the Nation of Islam and the El Rukns. Everybody was coming together. And they saw how dangerous that could be. And then that's when they started resorting to violence.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've gone, like, we've looked at that. I've talked about the Bastards of the Party, the great documentary that talks about the systematic murder of any and every semblance of Black leadership from about starting with Patrice Lumumba, right, all the way up to Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. Yep. Let me catch my chat room, y'all. Let me catch it, because I'm super behind. I'm gonna start with Dion. He said this system needs to be broken and rebuilt. Broken and rebuilt.
That's right. Say it, Kev.
Right up my alley, right there. Shit needs to be rebuilt. Miss Williams, how you doing, Miss Beverly? She said Hines need to go, period. It's sad how folks are being treated. We have to vote. When you don't vote, it's worse than those low down racist Republicans. I shout out to Miss Williams. Miss Beverly gonna rep them Democrats. She know we the party poopers. She know we poop on both parties because they both egregious in their treatment of us. But that's my sister, man, and she spreads truth a lot of the times. I'm just, they're all racist. We call them white people.
They are.
Like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That was bad. Earl said Robert for mayor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not my cup of tea either. I think being the mayor puts you in a compromising situation, because I wouldn't really mesh well with them, because I'm not in on the grand scheme of things. Like, I don't know. Once I got down there and started figuring out, how many million over here and a million, 100 million, I would be like, man.
Kev, you have to be a Harold Washington. Harold Washington became mayor of Chicago, showed us how to do it.
This is true.
Harold Washington provides the blueprint, provides the best model for empowering our communities working together. And, that man has the model, and if we can find somebody who can emulate and replicate that model, that would be your man or woman.
We're a long way from that over here. He said, good advice. Guess having ran for political office twice in my city, I can relate to what you're saying. Said there was a $15 million raised against me in Denver, the mayoral election in 2023. And people don't understand how the money works.
Right.
And when people say, what did you know, your campaign contribution, it goes in a lot of directions.
Right.
He said, this is why the rent is getting higher. Earl, the rent is too damn high. Right. Jesse says Mike Bloomberg, the former mayor, donated $6 million to our newly elected mayor Johnson. $6 million?
$6 million?
Damn, $6 million. I got to look into that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of weed money, because ain't weed legal out there, recreational? My mind automatically went to that. I don't know why. My aunt L. Bay Booker, how you doing, my sister? She said, right, you're not lying. She said Harlem is owned by Jews now. It's white folks all in Harlem now. Most major cities, it's coming down the pipeline, because it's easier to do that than to try to straighten up 6 generations of poverty and dysfunction and you know, destruction. It would take such a deep dive to go into the north side right now in 53206 and do what needs to be done from an infrastructure perspective, right? Like my brother just talked about the water. We got some people over there who've been inhaling this wholesale forever. Like it ain't, you know, and with the way recidivism works over there, and that's not the only troubled area code in Milwaukee. I'm just saying, if you're going to straighten this out from on a people level, it takes much more of a long-term commitment. Gentrification, it don't really take that much. All we'll do is just keep asking for referendums, 250 here, 250 there. Your property tax is double or triple what you was paying. You can't afford this no more. We'll give you a nice little check and go on out there in Wauwatosa, and they got an affordable housing complex. Nice with a playground for your kids. Got a pool. Don't you like a pool? Got a pool, Dick. Right? And that's where you're going to end up at. And they'll be down here sipping lattes on Martin Luther King Drive, right? Going in resale shops and shit, selling art and all kinds of other white hipster type shit. It'll be like Minneapolis. That's how downtown Minnie is. It's hipster stuff. That's a lot of, you know, depending on what part you are in, there's a lot of cultural businesses too, but it's hipster joints. They running all them storefronts, all that. Milwaukee, that's what Milwaukee wants to be. He said the first time I seen Mexicans living on 52nd and Center Street. Oh, they're out, you know, they're out here on the west side too. And they pretty much stay to themselves. Like I said, just like the Hmongs. The Hmongs are doing Hmong. They'll have a party. It'd be like 90 people there. I don't hear no music. I don't smell no weed. I don't even smell the barbecue. I don't know what the hell they be having on the grill.
You don't smell the cheese,
I agree with that. I agree.
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. And I know they be having cases of beer.
My plug was Hmong. They get down, you know what I'm saying? With my CBD plug, you know, was Hmong, but shit,
hurry up and straighten that shit.
He's still growing, you know. Well, he's in Eau Claire. Cool dude, you know. He'll ship it to me from Eau Claire, but he Hmong. I got Hmong people that live right behind me. And then I thought some bought the house a couple doors down from me, but they was only there for like a month. And now with some other folk there that you could tell they renters and they act like renters. And that, I guess that's my thing. As far as a homeowner, everybody in the inner city ain't on that ownership mindset. So a lot of them might be okay with renting luxury apartments on the outskirts. You know what I'm saying? And as a homeowner, shit, I just want homeowners that's gonna take care of the community and get this shit looking like something. I could give a fuck who they look like as long as my community looks better. And I mean, because like right now, shit, it's motherfucking tires all on the like, and it just showed me how I was as an inner city kid, like, because they run around scavenging. It was just some kids we caught in our backyard trying to steal my kids' bikes. You know what I'm saying? But they've been scavenging, grabbing tires and shopping carts and shit to play with. And now the shit is all on our block in front of the house. So as a homeowner, like as a black man, I understand like gentrification is bad. But as a homeowner and as a business owner,
don't you say it.
And as somebody who rents,
it's like
when you gotta decide between $3,500 a month and $800 a month, I'm opting for $3,500. You know what I'm saying? So I can see both ways, and like I said, I ain't saying just shoot everybody out to the outskirts.
Get rid of these po ass niggas. Sound like that's what you were saying, kind of.
I'm saying as a business owner,
okay.
As a business person, and somebody who's about business. Like, I don't know if it's a white black thing. I think it's a green thing, and it is good for business when motherfuckers can afford to
well, they can be safe when they leave your establishment. Now that brings me to a question that I want to ask Robert. Let me catch the chat room. Sister Booker said this is an on-point show. So many facts. We appreciate the love, my sister. Dion said Obama was one of them. Man, we've gone after Obama so many times on this show. Courtney, I don't need to read her comments. She's on the show.
Well, why not? Hold on now. Why not? Why don't you need to read my comment?
I mean, you here. Like what? She said I've been seeing more on 27th and Burleigh, more Mexicans, you were saying.
Yes, I have.
Shout out to anybody that's on 27th and Burleigh. It's not a desired place. Like if you are over there, you are one of the bravest people.
Yeah, my church was over there. So
yeah. And
really more like 24.
They lock up tight at the end of service on Sundays and get the hell out of Dodge.
They've been buying cribs over there, been working on them, putting new windows in, all of that.
You doing that?
No, the Mexicans over on like 24 from Burleigh. Couple cribs.
How old was y'all in the 90s? Say late 90s, early 2000s.
How old were we?
Not you, Kev. I'm talking about Courtney and Rick.
Oh, in 99, I was like,
you said
12?
12.
So I graduated 2001. So I was so about 99, 2000, I was around about 15. Because I graduated at like 17.
I was 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You wasn't 12, Kev.
Wait.
Me and Robert was 12. We was
No, matter of fact, 99, maybe I was like 10. I wasn't in 6th grade yet. I was like, I might have been like 10, 11.
Because, I'm just asking that because, like 27th and Burleigh, it was horrendous way back then.
Always
way before that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why that 27th and Burleigh keep popping up. Like for years, that's been, when you talk about what's hot in Milwaukee, 27th and Burleigh been in that conversation since as long as I can remember.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been
and I was just saying that because I was wondering because that's how far back I remember how when I had some dope houses over there in that area.
Yeah.
And I didn't fuck with that gas station.
And that's the crazy
You
thing.
see what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? And I wasn't fucking with it, but you know what I mean? I was old enough to be like, hold on, no, I don't need to be in that space. Not a nigga like me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. See,
so, but I get it. Like, if you was like 12, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been too much.
So you was in that age where you would have been considered like a contender. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
out here.
Fair game.
Right.
Like,
I was instead of or something.
No, I say he was out here. I say he was out here.
So like me, I was 11 or 12 walking from 27th and Chambers from my church to the gas station and shit. But I've always been oblivious, I guess, when I was younger, because
that's why, you know what I mean. When you're young, you really don't understand what's all going on around.
Yeah. Right, because
you just going to the gas station to get you some candy.
Because my uncle and them used to stay on 15th and Burleigh, like by the Spiders and Pagers. And then we used to go to Columbia Park. Like now,
that's a different area, though.
And that was my favorite Chicago sub. I feel like that was the best.
And I want to say this before we even move on with this, Courtney. Just because you've seen a lot of Mexicans down there working on houses, don't mean that they was moving in. They probably was just renovating them for somebody. I mean, they tend to do that kind of work. I mean, I'm not stereotyping.
Very, very true.
Usually, the person who buy the house don't put the windows in. Right, I can't put a roof on here.
I mean, I've seen a couple cribs that they done revamped them and then they done moved in, then they live in there. So it's
the actual person who did the work.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, when some of them, I've seen. So it's like, but very true, Kev. That was a
As
good
long as they
observation.
keep the neighborhoods clean
don't
and
matter.
safe,
Right.
shit, I'm cool.
But most of the time, that house is going to get renovated and rented, because we know right now, another secret that people don't talk about in Milwaukee is a lot of the real estate was sold off to out of town investors.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Bulk sales.
So this is right. So this goes to, it just becomes another slumlord situation, or the long-term goal is to Airbnb it and sell it, or that's it. So they have that agenda. It doesn't involve us. We're just tools of it. Let me get the chat room caught up. Vince, Tony, I'm glad you are in the chat room. I hope you're still on. I know I'm behind, but man, oh man, this the hornet's nest you've stirred.
What it
Vince,
do,
do you got me
man?
blocked? I feel like I'm blocked, Vince. I mean, because I was trying to go like his comment, but there was no comment to like. But he clearly commented. So the only way the comment could be there, but I can't see the comment, is if I'm blocked.
Okay, I don't know. We'll have to see, because I got to talk to Vince anyways. Vince hit me up after the show. Our sister Booker said Latinos are unified. But I like what Robert said on, we don't even take into account that, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, El Salvadorians, Colombians. I didn't even know those people from El Salvador in Milwaukee. Right? Like, I didn't even know that.
I told you they coming from Venezuela and Colombia, like, because I work at the building, so I be having to do the food share applications with them, and a lot of them are coming in with ice papers, like Colombia and Venezuela, like they got caught and now they gotta just coming to apply for benefits as part of the process to kind of show they playing by the rules type shit. But yeah, it's an influx, man.
That's another question I'd like to ask you, Robert. Where you at on immigration? Because, okay, so are these people coming in illegally? When you're saying there's an influx, how are they getting in, and where are you at on immigration?
I've always stood on the side of making sure immigration is done legally, that the immigration is done that does not step on the rights of others who are doing it legitimately. Because what happens is, when you have such a large influx of illegal immigration, what happens is those who are legitimately trying to get in lose out. They're the ones who are going to be held back. They're the ones who are going to be not able to get to the resources once they get here legitimately. And so it also goes to the fact that if it's continuously uncontrolled, like it is right now, you're not only opening it up to just the southern hemisphere's portion of the population coming in, but you're opening it up more to really the world, because a lot of folks coming in through the southern border are coming from Taiwan, China.
Right. This ain't all Spanish folk coming through the south border.
Everybody.
I was just watching YouTube.
It ain't just Mexicans. It ain't
Right.
Everybody. Southern border as a way, because they all have the same tone skin color. So they figure they go down there, they all mix in, they all can get together. It's only when they start talking and there's different languages going on that people start realizing, oh, he ain't one of us. But the bottom line is, it is becoming a world magnet for folks to use as a means to get in illegally. Okay. And so there has to be, I'm on the side of making sure that the controls are in, because I see the legitimacy of people who are doing it the right way infringed upon, and that to me is unfair.
So you cool with the wall? If they say build a wall,
I don't want no wall. I don't want no wall. But there are ways to make sure that this is done correctly, and that is to create pathways for the migration populations to go. They don't have enough pathways to get into facilities where they can start the paperwork. This new immigration plan that Donald Trump and his gang shot down was a great plan. It was to bring in more judges, more lawyers, more law enforcement, It was to do all that so that they can increase the documentation capital to bring in these more legal way. But Trump and his people decided to kill it because they're using this issue as a means to scare people to vote for their team rather than vote for some common sense policies that really are being worked on.
Okay. Dion, you've been on what? You've been real patient, which is unusual. What's going on with you tonight?
Hey, how you gentlemen doing? I just wanted to lend a little bit of, say a little bit on the topic. Well, for one, I'm gonna start with that immigration. My thing is this, that's why I just don't believe nothing that be going on. Cause what happened all of a sudden, all these years from the first Bush and Clinton and all them, did a magical portal just open? These people been coming over here. Now all of a sudden, but when the media get a hold to it, then all of a sudden it's a big issue. And this ain't nothing new, man. Them people been coming over here. They coming through Texas, Arizona, goddamn California. And the Haitians, back in the days, the Cubans was coming over here on a boat, goddamn banana boat. They was selling from Cuba to Florida. That's why they got such a high population of Cubans in Florida. The Haitians and all that. So, when the media get a hold of something, it's a damn shame. Like this one lady said, it made sense. She said, we went through a Holocaust. The only difference between the Black Holocaust and the Jewish Holocaust is that the Jewish Holocaust was televised and ours wasn't. So when the media grab a hold of something, then all of a sudden it's a big old problem. That's why I don't believe in shit. And then when they be talking about voting, they always be like to vote. That's just like me going to a restaurant and you only give me 2 choices to eat. I don't want that shit. I want to eat what the fuck I want to eat. So now everybody always talking about vote. The candidates on the voting don't be worth shit. The Republicans saying, nigga, we want to put you back in chains. The goddamn Democrats is pissing in your face telling you it's raining. Then they gonna take all the resources eventually from you, and then they gonna wish you was in chains. It just be like I just be fed up with it, bro. I be listening to it. I be like, man, and then the gentrification in Milwaukee been going on. If you think about it, I remember back in the days when I first moved up here, I'm a Chicagoan myself, you know what I'm saying? I grew up on the east side from State to the Lake off 93rd, 83rd, all over there. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? So when I first moved up here, Wells, Wisconsin, Kilbourne, Clybourne, all that over there was niggas. Now it's the Hmong, and them white people that came over there, but man, them is some beautiful homes over there. Them homes is beautiful over there. I'm talking about like mini mansions, Victorian style homes. So now they did over there because that was by the highway. If you think about it, just think about it, St. Paul all over there. That was by the highway. So they slowly creep it back. You understand what I'm saying? So my whole thing is this, like people really, I ain't gonna say they don't understand because that makes a mockery of individuals. But Reconstruction been going on since 1865, since they say slavery was ended. And they've been finding a way to try to reconstruct everything, and they slowly doing it. As you see, they taking away a lot of rights. They gentrifying neighborhoods. I was listening to a program today, and then they was talking about how MTS won all this money. Keith Posley, the superintendent, he makes $50,000 less than the president. So I think the president made $400,000. I think he had like 300 or something thousand.
Dion, I'm thinking. I don't know if he's at 300.
Yeah, he's that much, man. They had Isha Carr on the radio today. I know you don't listen to the truth, but I listen to the truth faithfully every day. I only listen to one show on there. I only listen to the Sherwin show. So they had Isha Carr on there. She fine as a motherfucker too. But anyway, though, that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? So she was talking about everything that's going on with the school board. And they're like they keep on, what is y'all wanting this money for? You know I work for the school. So me and the principal every day going back and forth. I'm like, it's another $250 million. First of all, she don't even live in Milwaukee County. She live in Waukesha County out there, Menominee Falls. So it's another $250 million they want. But she was like, your taxes won't increase by number $200. Listen, man, that's a lot of money. When I first moved in my home, now I got everything escrowed. My mortgage was $765. I pay $1,040 now. My mortgage is still the same. If I only pay the mortgage, my mortgage is $568. But my property taxes went up from $1,700 to $2,600. I'm upset about that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm really like, because that, when I was looking for a home, the mitigating factor on where I was going to move was the property tax. So I found that house over there on 79th around the corner from Madison, a pretty decent house, nice little area. You know, the Hmongs live over there, but it's diversified over there. You know what I'm saying? And I was happy. You know, I'm still happy with my home, but I don't want my property taxes to keep going up because now pretty soon, in a couple of years, I'll be paying $2,000 with the escrow and all that. And I was like, that's why I said, you know, you never know, Courtney, why you talking about, because life change every day. Anything can happen. If I live to see 50 years old, I don't want to reside in the state of Wisconsin anymore. I want to move down south where the property taxes are and then you get more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
I seen a house the other day. It was like 7.4 acres for like $190-some thousand.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many dogs and squirrels and chickens I can have over that motherfucker? I ain't killing none of my chickens. But I'm just saying, though, so with the city of Milwaukee, man, it's like, eventually it's going to, I mean, Kev, I know you want to be Milwaukee forever. Maybe you might move up to Minnesota where your wife from, though. But you're not getting what the bang for your buck for the money that they want from us.
I absolutely love when you throw me in the fire and you keep going. It's always, well, Kev, I know, and you're always wrong every time you say it. But hold on, let me give you an oxygen mask for a second, because you got to stop and breathe. You got to stop and breathe. First of all, I want to go back to what you initially said about people have always been coming here. So Robert Miranda, who is our guest tonight, who is a Latino brother and who is on the South Side, stated he's seen these influxes. So that must mean that there has been an increase in them. Robert, can you talk about the increases that you've seen, not that you've heard?
Right. Let me elaborate on what the brother just said. It is true. This has been going on for many years. It has been going on for decades. The difference of the migration is it was seasonal. You had these kinds of lines, these kinds of infiltration through the border because the migrants were coming in for the seasonal jobs. They were out there coming to pick the beets. They were coming out there to pick the lettuce. They were coming out there to pick, to get into the farms and to pick all the crops. And then once that season ended, then they went back because they got all the American dollars, and then they had enough American dollars to live on in Mexico and other countries for a while before the next season come in. So you saw this kind of influx, yes, that they show on the media. That was happening for 50, 100 years in this country. It always has been happening. But the change is that it's happening every month. It's that those lines that they're showing today, those were lines that we saw during the seasonal picking of the crops. We are seeing these lines now almost all the time. And that's the change. Yeah.
Okay.
That has been going on. But it is because these folks came in those droves and that wave of humanity to pick the crops in our farms throughout the country. A lot of them went back. Some of them decided to stay. But this time around, no, this is different. This is totally different what's going on today.
Okay. Let me catch the chat room. Said Bastards of the Party is a good documentary. Also check out Made in America, Crips and Bloods. Harold Washington had the blueprint for running for office. He's agreeing. He said, Kev, weed. I know weed is, but that was a joke. That was a weed joke. Earl Henning, he said, we all know that money is going in their pockets. They're not putting it back into the schools. Mama Jenkins says, look at that Hmong club on Hampton Avenue. They be jumping 200-300 at that bar. Never heard nothing bad about that place. They got security and cameras everywhere. My neighbor works there. They absolutely are. And the pho is delicious. I've already been there.
I got a homie that DJ there. It looked like it be going down. I plan on getting there one day. I used to take my lady up there for the pho. I'm not a pho fan.
Love
it's
it.
like glorified ramen, but
that's
it's
what it is. It's delicious.
Incredible.
My
Too much broth, man.
Bay Booker says, "Wait, hold up. The cool spot was cracking back in the day."
Hell yeah, on my
Dion
mama.
said, "I go anywhere in the city of Milwaukee." Or did he say I go anywhere? Okay, I just want to make sure for Courtney.
Yeah,
What to say,
you got
Kevin?
it.
Oh, he said, "Oh, you got Chambers too. We got a Chambers out here." He's talking about in Denver. Sister Booker said, right, the out of town investors got Milwaukee sold up. Man, I'm so far behind.
Yeah.
He said, we got illegal migrants in Denver, from all those countries. He said they had 40K come here in a year. I'm gonna scam through this scheme, and he says they limit the candidates and on the ballot, and your choice is a good point. Choose lesser two evils. How about you don't vote for evil at all? And my sister says, according to a September 22 Facebook post, Keith Posley, Milwaukee Public Schools has a base salary of $279,961.20, plus health, dental, vision, and life coverage, 38,500 PTO and 401(b). Wow.
You don't see no one in there. You see
403B.
403B.
Damn. Give me a chance to correct it.
I bet you he doesn't have one thing. I bet you he have one thing, Kev.
What's that?
A white chauffeur.
I thought he might drive a Tesla or something, or I don't know. I mean, damn. The fact that I always talk about the bloated nature of the salaries at central office, right? And the fact that he makes that much and then could have the audacity to say, we need $250 million more. Well, and I seen the article today where there's a principal saying, well, we could have to cut teachers. I think the first thing we need to ask is, where the money at, y'all? Y'all got a $1.5 billion budget. Where's that money at? Before we even discuss, let's do a whole audit. If you're gonna come to me and say, give me $252 million, we want an audit, a public audit, an external audit, not an internal audit. We don't want your figures. We want some forensic accountants to come in here and run through the receipts so we can see how much money's missing, right?
And then it's something on a referendum about Washington County. Like, what the hell Washington County got to do with Milwaukee County?
Do you know what the referendum is? I didn't see it. I missed that one.
No,
check it out.
No.
Oh, and then I wanted to say this because Dion tried to throw me under the fire. See, I don't know why most people, because I'm not a whiner or a complainer, right? I do what I got to do to take care of me and my family, right? We're okay. We're not rich. I'm not walking around draped in diamonds and pearls. But you're not hearing me complain about I'm leaving Milwaukee every day. So people think Kev would never leave. He's Captain Milwaukee. He's tethered to the floor in Milwaukee. Kevin, I know that. Just because I'm not a whiner, just because I understand that if I put out the right type of energy, I will be somewhat successful here. Just like if I went somewhere else and put out a certain type of energy and effort, I would be successful there. I think a lot of people leave here and go take common jobs and then say, well, I work at Target now, but they make more at Target down here than they did in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
But when you was here, your ass wasn't trying to work at Target. You selling everything but Target, right? So I think it's mindset. Now there's a glass ceiling. I understand that. There's limitations. It's a very segregated, racist place to be. But if an opportunity presented itself that would improve my life, I would be gone with the gypsiness. There's no, I can't leave. I can't leave Milwaukee. Are you crazy? Yeah. And I'll tell you, people run down south for that myth of you get more bang for the buck. But your ass finna be in the middle of butt fuck America. You're going to have to put electric. You're going to have to get electric. You're going to have to get plumbing. You're going to have to develop that land to be living.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you ain't going to get it because it ain't no tower down there. Your ass going to be living on the side of a mountain talking about this show is peaceful.
Hold on, Kev. I'll be looking at like Grenada, Canton, Mississippi. Those
ain't
places.
Shit in Mississippi. Right. There's nothing in
Mississippi. I ain't looking for nothing. I just want to go to. Listen, the highlight of my week, if I move down south, is going to town, seeing all them big booty girls.
Dion, ain't no towns shopping. No more. Listen, Dion, do you know? Listen, no. Do you know those Walmarts down there put all of those little towns out of business? Those mom and pop businesses. Those Walmarts.
That's what I'm talking
all
about.
that stuff is gone.
Walmart.
You ain't no.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Come on, man. Come on, some big. I
was
in Grenada, Mississippi.
I was in Ewing, Alabama. I know you probably never heard of Ewing, Alabama.
Thank
But
God.
I love it down there. It's Ewan. It's in Hamilton County. It's not too far from, like 45 minutes west of Tupelo, Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? I loved it down there. Even when I just went down there to the Appalachian Mountains when I went to Tennessee, because I'm about to get ready to go back to Georgia in a little while. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to get ready to go down to Huntsville in a couple weeks. But I enjoy it down there. Now, see, there's nothing wrong, and that's what we differ at. It's my opinion, my joy.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that.
the difference is I didn't throw you in the
right.
fire. You threw me in it.
All
So
right.
I don't. it ain't about whether or
you're
not
right,
it's your
I
opinion.
apologize.
No,
I
bro.
apologize.
It's all good.
You know, but you know, and then like the gentleman said with Chicago, you know, I went like Chicago is like Milwaukee is not designed for 1 million people. We don't have. I don't think we have the geographical land to be. I don't think for me. Because you know I'm in the truck, I'm riding.
You got that thing up loud. Y'all
I got the Bluetooth on.
See, people always.
I can cut it down, son. You want me to cut it down?
Yeah, you might have to cut him down. He ringing.
But yeah, though, Milwaukee doesn't have the geographical land to be able to support 1 million people. Not in the city of Milwaukee. Now, if you did Milwaukee County, that might be something different. But like Chicago is like 3 million people. So you got the east side, the north side, the west side, and the south side. I went down there on 47 King Drive a couple weeks ago, me and my lady friend, because we wanted to go down to eat. That's the Bronzeville neighborhood. Beautiful brownstone home. And I see the Beckys running around, the Beckys, Karens. As a matter of fact, I seen Mr. T down there, and I was sitting next to Mr. T, and I didn't even know it was Mr. T, because I really ain't no Mr. T fan. But when I got up and I went to the car to go get my phone, I realized I was Mr. T, a pity the fool. But anyway, though, so Milwaukee doesn't have the geographical land to support 1 million people. I don't know, man. Chevy, I don't know what type of guy he is, because when I used to live in Westline, Chevy used to come regularly to our meetings. That's when Joe Davis was in office and all those people. You know, like, he used to be like, call me Chevy. You know, his name was Cavalier. But he didn't present that Obama like, I don't know, because I used to rap with him, chop it up with him, you know, because I talk to anybody. You know, I didn't take the man seriously. I didn't even know what he did. The only reason I went to the meetings in Westline, because it was part of me staying there, because my rent was real low, and that was part of my community service. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't give a damn what they were talking about up in there. But now I see that the guy rose to the ranks of mayor, and that's just like with Obama, obscure senator from the state of Illinois, rose to prominence of the presidency. There's always something, an agenda behind those type of guys. You understand what I'm saying?
Got you.
And Mayor Cavalier Johnson, he's definitely, you know, like the gentleman said, there's always one of us to come in here smiling, and he blowing our brains out behind our heads. You understand what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So I'm going to hang up. I'm going to let y'all go. Enjoy the show as always, Kev. I'm going to continue listening. I guess this Wednesday, we won't see you again until next week, Monday. I hope you guys have a good weekend, a positive, productive. Bull, I'm gonna try to come down there and catch you, man. I'll be wanting to see you when I come up in there, bro.
You have the longest outros. Are you done? Or what, like, is you finished or is you done?
That's how you do me. Yeah, that's how you do me, man.
I'm still upset for you trying to throw me in the fire. I'm ready to get rid of you now.
All right.
I told you.
I'll be trying to catch you down there to chop it up with you, though, and maybe get a discount on one of them motherfucking smoothies or something. But anyway, though, man, I love you niggas as always. Courtney, you be safe out there dating them guys on Plenty of Fish. We don't
Get your ass up, man.
In a carpet nowhere. But I'm gone, man. I'm gone.
Saying Dion, man.
Dion is a fool. People say, Kev, why you let him talk so long? I don't know. I'm a cheerleader for foolishness, I guess. Right? Everett Gransberry in the chat room. Shout out to you, my brother. He said, great evening. Are we considering the similarities between the push to bring an end to illegal immigration, as it's called, and the push to bring an end to DEI? Minorities are systematically being removed from the equation in this country. The impact it will have on our culture is mind-boggling. And so we're talking about ending immigration, illegal immigration, and then there's a push. Well, there's a push against minorities, period, in America right now. Like, you look at the way they attack, and white people didn't talk about it a long time. They got right on critical race theory's ass. and anything that was similar to that, they got right at it. Like, and it just became a movement now to just like rewrite the narrative that's been rewritten, right? Like, so it's like they work overtime. Earl Henning said, "Make the money go." Shout out to Robert Miranda. He said he had
That's
to go
not what
to
he
a
said.
meeting. I'm
Yeah.
not listen. Shout out to Robert Miranda. He just sent me a message. He said he had to go to a meeting. So shout out to Robert Miranda. Yeah, Dion was ranting so long he didn't get to say to finish his piece, but he'll be back. Robert's a friend of the show. He said, "Make the money and go," is what Earl Henning said before Courtney get her toes in a bunch. Dion said, "Audits are always good. Follow the money." My sister Booker said, "Explain the referendum in Wisconsin. A referendum that goes into effect immediately after voters vote, typically called a binding referendum. This means that the decision made by voters is legally binding and must be implemented without the need for further action by legislators. On the other hand, a referendum that requires legislative action to go into effect is often referred to as a non-binding or advisory referendum. In this case, the outcome of the vote serves as a recommendation." I'm assuming there's more. Yes, Earl Henning says, "Yes, Milwaukee does have room for more people." I don't know about 1 million, but they definitely, especially if they move some people around. I mean, I said they want black folks in slavery, make America great. You know what? Like I said, there's a lot. Buyer beware before you go and vote. And I know a lot of us are going to just want to put the sticker on and be on Facebook or Instagram. But I'm happy that if you do participate, now for all the people out there who can't fuck vote, I ain't voting, well, don't vote then. Right? Like people say that to me like it makes them deep. I don't vote. Okay. Like, all right, shit. It don't mean nothing to me. Okay. I don't know if they think I'm going to try to convince them otherwise or not. But I don't. It's like, all right, go ahead.
So I know I called my mom today, something like that. She was talking about Trump was talking, something like that. I don't know. And basically Trump said something like if he didn't win, it was going to be a bloodbath. I don't know. That's what she said. She was like, her and her old friends was worried, thinking white folks going to kill people or he going to kill people. And I'm like, nah, I'm thinking he's saying it more in a sense of a bloodbath, like we're going to go to war. Like Joe Biden, whoever ain't gonna get us out of some shit, and only he can do it. So when you hear those words, as the old people thought that maybe white folks was gonna kill people, I took it as war, a bloodbath. So when you hear those words, what do you take it as, Kev? What do you think of when he says whatever the fuck he said?
I saw that clip.
I think that you probably know more about it than me. What was that? Yeah.
Kamar's I'm gonna let Kamar go and then I'll answer it. I think because he was trying to get in.
I saw that clip. I saw that clip. He was actually talking about some kind of trade or something that need to stop. And if it don't, it's going to be a bloodbath. That's why they need him in office.
Okay.
Like, it's something like they're going to lose the United States going to lose a whole bunch of money or, you know what I mean? He was alluding to that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually seen it. I don't know. And I won't. It's very important that you always keep context in mind. So when somebody says Trump says it's going to be a bloodbath if he don't win, I have to go see what he said. So I haven't seen it yet. I scrolled past it because I know anything Trump says is sensational and it's sensationalized. But I also think he's a master. He's shown you that verbally he's a master manipulator and deceiver, right? In that order. Trump is a master with it. His mouthpiece is platinum. Pause, right? Like I'm saying, Trump is literally an evil genius. I'm willing to go that far. And so if whatever he said, I'm sure that there was some sort of meaning behind it. He's always a double entendre. He's a walking quote. And so we know that's Trump at his best. Did you hear the comment? Did you hear the Trump?
Oh, I'm sorry, I heard Kamar coughing. I couldn't hear you.
Right.
No, I didn't hear the comment, but I just I just look at how shit been going. You know what I'm saying? I know people were upset about money, I think back in the day, as far as like who Trump might have been paying and putting friends in position to make bread and shit like that. So I just be wondering, like, did he like get, wasn't as much money as going out now to the Ukraine and the Afghanistan and shit like that. So I just be thinking about shit like that. Like, okay, which one of these motherfuckers talking about bringing businesses back and trying to get it to where economically, because I look at the green again. I know people divide it up to black and white and shit, but I always follow the green because that's where you'll see the real motive at. So my main concern is who's gonna get businesses coming back, who's gonna get it to where more money is being made and brought into America versus being laundered under the guise of foreign aid and shit like that. So that bloodbath shit, I also know the media is good at triggering motherfuckers and playing on their emotions. And they tend to know how to really trigger black folk with hate and fear to get them to do the bidding of like that certain party type shit. So whenever I hear anything, I got to try to consider the source and make sure I go take a look at it in full context.
We got a caller. Ewok's in the chat room. Ewok, what's on your mind?
Good
sorry,
evening,
he's
good
on the
evening,
phone, not
ladies.
in the chat room. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dig this here, man. Walk like a duck, talk like a duck, quack like a duck is a fucking Donald Duck. The son of a bitch said that same shit when he sent all the little motherfuckers to the Capitol building, man. Ain't no going to, well, he might have meant this. He meant exactly what he said. If y'all don't elect me, I'm going to get my Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers to do some more shit. You thought the first time they went up into the Capitol building, wait till next time. He meant exactly that. Don't be trying to do an end around for that motherfucker, man.
I said I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either.
He didn't say that.
I didn't hear it either.
I'm telling you,
I heard it.
He said he was going to be a blood.
I heard it.
I'm telling you, but
he wasn't talking about a bloodbath like motherfuckers don't shoot up. That wasn't what they was talking about. They was talking about some kind of trade, some country who they doing business with, and it's gonna be a horrible loss if they fuck with them.
The next day after he fucked up and said that shit, his people, his handlers, his PR people had to come out and say he was talking about the automotive industry. That's what they tried to say that he was talking about.
That's what the conversation was about.
When he says things, what I'm trying to say, when he says things, he says them purposefully. He says it on purpose. He meant that bloodbath shit about him not getting reelected.
He wasn't talking
He's trying to round up his face.
But I wasn't doing no end around for him because I didn't hear what he said.
Yeah, I got to go watch that clip now and see what's going on.
All right. I mean, we all got the right to think what we think. When I first started talking, though, I said he's done this before. When he told them motherfuckers, we're going to go down to the Capitol building, and if you don't fight like hell, we're not going to have a country anymore. He says stuff like that purposely. He's done it before. So if he's done it before, what would make you think that he ain't trying to do the same thing again? So he playing a tails I win, heads you lose the motherfucking coin again. He's scaring people in the, you know what I'm saying, trying to make them believe that they better vote for him or some shit gonna happen again, just like the Capitol 6 riot. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can discuss it and think about it amongst yourselves, but hell, when somebody do something one time, what make you think that he ain't doing that again? And I'm out.
All right. I just want to hear it for myself. Before I even make any judgment, I just want to hear it for myself.
You gotta hear it.
Yeah.
Trust me, you gotta hear it.
I'm going to listen to it as soon as we get off.
It was, bloodbath in itself is a bad choice of words.
Terrible.
I mean, he might be a wordsmith like a lawyer. How they shoot out what them double entendres and shit.
Yeah, he know what to get. He know what to say to get attention.
To say that allows him to still have an out that say I don't mean it like that.
I thought I said he was a master manipulator and a master when it comes to double entendre. I thought that's what I said.
If you know how to speak, anybody can do it. Right. I can say some shit and leave it open to where it's like if it's took wrong, it could be meaning so many other things for me to kind of renege to.
Let me pull this comment
about the
up.
auto industry, or they was talking about doing some kind of business with a certain Sister
Booker. She has it, Kamar.
What is
she has it up. So I put it up on the screen. It says, If I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country, he warned while talking about the impact of offshoring on the country's auto industry and his plan to impose a 100% tariff on foreign-made cars.
Right.
Okay.
So it's going to be a bloodbath financially. I mean,
Shay
and this is basically what I said in the beginning.
Shay says he said they took it out of context with the dump and then human shit. He said it's just more fear mongering from the Democrats. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I'm just catching the chat room.
Man,
Everett Gransberry says he has the backing of the radical right and a group of fanatical militia that are ready to do his bidding. I wouldn't take this man for granted. He is very dangerous. He absolutely is. He showed that. I agree with Ernest on that. We saw him. He has a base that he can rile up to take action. That's absolutely factual. I just wanted to see what the quote was. Now, I wanted to get to, because Ray was talking about money, and I want to make a point about that. Dion said he was talking about stopping the production of electric cars, a bloodbath for their industry. Mama Jenkins says his words were not of choice for the media, but that's him. Right. Donald Trump is everything except for politically correct. But I did want to speak to Rail was saying which candidate supports in terms of money. Then you would have to understand global economics, and you would have to understand tariffs and trade agreements that have been made on how it's no longer the old school America builds it and ships it all over the world.
Right.
So now we got to understand what parts of consumer products do you get from where? Because you're getting circuitry from one country, you're getting
like that. Yeah.
The boards from the silicone from one country to make the boards. Africa. Like it's a global economy. So it's not as the president, if you really want to know who's going to really be able to bring money, you damn near got to be an economist. And even they miss on it sometimes and say economists had predicted that the rates or whatever would be up and shit crashes. So you don't really ever really know. But I mean, that conversation, I mean, I don't really worry about anything Trump says because Trump is Trump. And Trump is in some trouble right now. And I know a lot of people don't want to believe it because he's the devil's son-in-law. But Trump, he doesn't have the money what is it, 400 million that they want for this settlement. And then they've allowed Fannie Willis to stay on the case. See, their hope was that they would pull her off that case for that corruption down there. Because like we said, they took off 6 charges, but there were 43 counts he was charged with. So Trump still has some hurdles to clear. If he gets past all the legal loopholes and gets reelected, we got to look out. Because this motherfucker is it's like, yo, this some shit right here. Raspberry said he's not capable of intelligent, meaningful conversations. Most foreign-made cars are made right here in America. How do we benefit from the tariffs he's suggesting? Well, is he trying to protect the United States auto industry? And that's how do you do that, right? Like, how do you? And that the whole auto industry is changing now because of the electric cars. Because we just talked about where's the circuitry and all this stuff coming from. Whereas you used to say Detroit made, because that's where they was putting V8s and V6s and 305s together. Now you talking about this needs a capacitor that's mined in Chile and then manufactured in Mexico and then shipped to Taiwan for processing. You see what I'm saying? So you start talking about tariffs. I would have to dig more into that. I'm glad y'all put me up on that though. Shout out to Courtney. My Aunt El Bay said, Sister Booker, she said Donald Trump is hurtling towards a critical deadline in his most costly legal battle to date. If the former president doesn't come up with a financial guarantee by Monday, New York's attorney general can start the process of collecting on the more than $454 million Trump owes the state in a civil fraud lawsuit. Damn. Now, if he comes up with us once again, $400 million by Monday, it's like, yo,
he about to get them shoes cracking hard.
This is Cobra Commander right here. This is just Cobra, right? We got to get G.I. Joe out.
Hey, look, them motherfuckers sending money in, GoFundMe, they helping him even. You know that.
If they hit him with that 400, they need to be investigated for that money can even be utilized to pay. Like, come on, man. That's a lot of money, bro, even for him, right? Like, but he said he's a billionaire, so Sister Booker said he better sell some more tennis shoes. Yeah, sell some of them ugly ass shoes, man. And Charles Barkley said if he see anybody walking down the street with the Trump mugshot, he gonna beat him up. He gonna punch him in the face.
He gonna get shot. That's what he gonna get.
I want to, you know what? I wanted to give the Outlaws credit because over this past week, man, y'all know me, I get pissed off, right? I'm when Erykah Badu says I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit, and so I see people come at us. And I first want to shout out to Kamar because that reel, I don't know if you made that, Kamar, with that Outlaw on there, or that was something we did back in the days. I can't remember, but it was dope. Okay, that was dope. I want to give you credit for that. And I want to give Courtney credit too, because whenever there's anything out there, we done discussed it on the show, and Courtney makes a post or somebody else hears something we say on the show and tries to come for us, Courtney always in the comments on their ass. Like, hold on now, goddamn it.
You know, that's what I do. That's right.
Like Courtney be out here fighting on these internet streets.
You know I will. Fucked up.
Because I really don't even, you know, I'm really, very rarely do I comment. Sometimes I will, but it's very rare. But at Kamar too, though. I be seeing Kamar pop up. Like, I be like, damn, Outlaw's out here fighting, boy. Like, try to come for us through the back door, man. Pause, right? Type shit. So shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all for representing. I appreciate that. And yeah, people do, man. They hear stuff you say, and then if you go and listen to them or they platform, you be like, what? I feel like that was pointing at us. I feel like that was the conversation we was having. So it'd be like, oh man. Mama Jenkins said Miss Fanny is waiting on his ass, and it got to be cash. After all the shit she done went through, done made her lose her boo thing, and was she already broke up with this dude, or did they have to break up because they was caught all of a sudden? I don't know the dirt on their.
But what do that even got to do with the case? I just feel like
right. It was bullshit. You're right.
Like, and we are smashing. What that got to do with Trump?
Yeah, Trump is this is Mr. Grabber by the pussy though. This is Trump. We talking about some of us. Can't nobody else do it except him. I just thought it was funny, man. And this ain't, you know what? This is something that I wanted to put out here. We didn't talk about this because it's Women's History Month, and so I was looking. I'm in the Podverse, and I'm looking, and I'm seeing that. And Joe Budden, who is, you know, if you live in the Podverse, you're familiar with Joe Budden. Joe Budden has come out and said the female rap era is done. The emergence of the female lyricist, you know, how we've had these debates about every female from Nicki Minaj to Sexy Red and all these young ladies, Lotto and Glorilla and Ice Spice and all these ladies. He said it's over. And we were talking about with hip hop, with the emergence of women MCs, we were hoping that they didn't box themselves in because most of them is just what we call horror rap. And so, you know, now Sexy Red is a Trump supporter and all this kind of stuff. So I wanted y'all to know, I wanted to ask y'all, do y'all think the female rap, because now Megan has been objectified, people side-eyeing her. There's supposed to be footage that's going to come out that'll exonerate the little buddy who shot her or who allegedly shot her. So is the female rap over? Is rap over? I've heard some people say hip-hop is over.
I feel like as far as industry, because, you know, we going based off of who the Jewish people pay, you know, who cutting them a check and who we basically support to be mainstream. But there's so many dope ass lyricists out here that aren't the ones that's on the radio, the 10, 15, 30 that's just in constant rotation. You know, I mean, it's so much more out here. We need not to, I mean, it's a lot of dope female lyricists, a lot of dope dude lyricists. I mean, everybody right now is kind of whack. I mean, it's some okay people, but I mean, we damn near got some cousins that's dope as hell. You know what I'm saying? Compared to the shit to be on the radio.
Well, they're saying that the music industry in itself is pretty much, it's over because the model has expired. The way the music industry has always made profit and generated money, they're saying it's over now because of streaming and because of the internet. And because like they made the point that there was no number one hip hop song for most of 2023. And that was like the first time in forever that had happened. And the quality is down. And they're saying the investment is becoming too much for larger companies to invest, and it's becoming less and less profitable. I think the beautiful thing about black people and black culture is we're gonna still listen to our shit even after even after it ain't on MTV.
Right.
but I think that what they tried to accomplish with the female rapper wave, they accomplished it. Because black women in a lot of regards are over sexualized now as a result of it. And we see them. I mean, you see even old singers, no shade, but Erykah Badu and old sisters out here now with their ass out. Like, we got to compete with these young girls. Like, let me
she ain't got to compete. That woman 50 and shitting on all these young girls. Then she got the body hair too. So I was like, okay. I see you, Erykah. I see you.
That's a
You know me. The pit's fuzzy. If the pit's fuzzy, you know what else fuzzy.
But is it really just the music doing that though? I mean, because it's also them watching stuff like Bad Girls Club and the reality TV. It isn't just the music that's shaping our. It's everything.
I feel like music. I feel like music is infinite. Okay. Music has always been, and it always will be. Hip hop, as long as we can remember it, it's always been. It's evolved, and maybe it's just gonna evolve again. That's all.
Okay.
And then you talk about the record labels and stuff, but the way the world is changing now, it's like we just have to learn how to find our music on the internet now. Right. The music we like, how to follow the right people that we like, and you know what I'm saying? It can never stop. Even like hip hop, you talk about the music we like, lyricists. It's still people out here who get down.
Right.
Like and I don't think Mike just got an album of the year. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? It's still popping. Young people still growing, they evolving. You know what I mean? Their music gonna evolve too when they get older. Just like our music, people from our genre, they grew with us and evolved into something different. So I just feel like hip hop gonna evolve into something else.
And I think they may say that it's ending because it's ending for them. You know what I'm saying? Because now, because of the internet, because of TikTok, because of shit, like I said before, the internet just make it to where you want to be a radio host, you ain't gotta beg a radio company now. You start your own shit. Right. You want to be a rapper, you ain't gotta send record labels your demo. Hop on TikTok and make that shit a viral sound. Like, it's a dude in Milwaukee now that I seen Chris Brown dancing to his shit.
It's two of them. It's two of them. It's the boy who said was bisexual, and then there's the other one.
Exactly. See why that even need so extra kids.
I was just saying how you don't need.
Did you watch it?
Right.
See what he said?
Right. Hey, look, and that's what I was trying to tell KD when he was on the show. You know what I mean? Like, look, the way social media is, man, you could take the handle and rock your own.
He has a whole following of motherfuckers that's y'all age and, you know, in between our age. So, I mean, if he really just like some musicians now, because the record label might hold they masters, they just been doing like covers of they shit. And now it's I think Ashanti did that, and I think Irv was upset for a little bit. He's like, shit, you could do that shit, do a cover of your shit, add a couple of little different twangs on it, and now you send that shit directly to the people. Like, the internet has, I say it, you know, like Soulja Boy to me is like the Little Richard of the hip hop game, because he always talk about he the innovator and shit. Mm-hmm. But to his credit, that nigga do be like I think he was one of the first people that got rich off of streams. Like, you remember when you call somebody and they had like ringback tones and shit? Like, he was the first one to show that you can be independent on this internet shit. Like, that's what I appreciate about it. Like, to me, Master P them, they influenced me to be willing to sell my books out the trunk. But like, seeing how Soulja Boy them took intellectual property and flip that shit, I don't think the music gonna go nowhere. It just make it to where now more people can own they shit and distribute they shit directly to the public and cut out these labels and the need to be on somebody's billboard.
Okay. Right. Everett Gransberry says, I enjoy the fact that through it all, you brothers try to stay neutral on most subject matter. It helps to have the sister covering your back, a great addition to the mix. When she's here, she is absolutely positively
I'm usually here.
phenomenal.
Don't be like that.
I mean, come on now. Like, that's like, you know,
I hope Sean called
sporadically you're here. I mean, and we always appreciate you when you're here. So
we need to figure out how to I was looking up the other day how to make a Roku app. You know, you could have a Roku like 85 South show with Carlos and Chico Bean and shit. They started as they podcast, then they started the 85 South channel, and now they just add other people who got other segments. Now they got a whole app that's on the Roku app. So that's the next thing.
Because Ruben got an app at the chamber. He get that Explorer TV. He got an app. So yeah. We might as well get us the little Outlaw.
Yeah,
Come
Outlaw
on, man.
Radio, Gun Happy Television, Trigger Happy Television.
I can't catch Eddie. I don't know what's going on. I gotta reach out to him. Jeff says rap always evolves. It's never over. Jesse Parrish says we, meaning the USA, has 2 grandpas and great grandpas with the access to nuclear codes, and they need to both be in homes or at home playing with their grandkids, not running the country. Ageism, he said. Shout out to DJ Cool Herc. Yes. Let me see. Jesse said, Kev, that white prosecutor is appealing and still trying to get Fanny off the dump. As in human shit. We want to make that perfectly clear. Dion said, I like body hair too, real. Yeah, he like body hair. Yeah, Dion likes body hair, right? Jesse said, how do you still got female artists like Cyrock and Rod Digger? When the last time she made an album though? Like I don't nobody's bumping that.
Maybe Cyrock is popping though. It's a lot of dope artists out here.
To me, Shauna still is one of the dopest, and she from Chicago. But
she made an album. When is her last album? 25.
Like they do like mixtapes and shit. Like last time I
buys that shit. Shit don't make no money.
I mean, it don't, but maybe I think that's the thing. I think
on the west side of Chicago,
the people who in mainstream media, like you said, they probably looking at the same thing. They gonna do what make money instead of being art. So that's what happened. Right. The industry got money hungry instead of it being an expression of art.
Yeah.
So Mama Jenkins says, salute to Dr. Dre on the star. You know what? I thought Dre was cool for getting a star, but my thing was when you come in and say Eminem is the greatest rapper ever, Dre. Like you had Cube, you had Corrupt, you had Snoop, you had MC Ren, like all the great art. You had Rakim on your label, and when he says it, see, and this is why people keep Eminem in their mouth when it comes to our. I get him. Dre has made mountains of money off him.
They ain't got shady aftermath. If he get a buzz for M, he might get some residuals.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure.
I understand.
He's made him a mountain of money, and but Dre, okay, yeah, he deserves it. But I just was like, come on, Dre, like you. Come on,
I mean, it's just like Chevy endorsing a white woman.
He say that shit to get everybody talking about him again.
Right, and now people gonna go back
and money. Now he getting money again. He got another,
and he about to eat good again off this.
Dre ain't stopped eating since '99. That motherfucker is a billion.
He got another influx.
Right, that shit. Donate that shit. That's just a tax write-off. She said the guy that do Walmart concerts.
That's Steve the Stoner.
Is that him going down Fond du Lac today doing the concert?
In that truck. Yes, I seen that. I saw that video. I was like, wow.
Yeah, get your money, Craig.
He going in Target too. He said it ain't just Walmart. We in Target as well.
Get your, because that's the thing.
I seen a video with him on the city bus. And he had
that too.
And he had a girl shaking her ass.
Yeah, I seen that
too. Look, he gonna be the Sherman Phoenix in a minute. I hope y'all security don't put him out
here for a pimp.
Ninja
Turtles, dudes on pickup trucks. It's cold as hell. You're gonna be sick in the motherfucker rapping with a.
But you know what? Hey, that's like I said. That's the shit I was talking about with KD.
You gotta
put yourself out here. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's the day and time it is now. You got to do it for yourself.
Attention is the new currency, they say.
Yeah.
Jesse says underground is alive and well. Commercials dying out and whack as fuck.
Right.
Everett Gransberry said they skillfully tricked most of us into demeaning our queens for economic advancement. The cities we live in and the type of violence against women, as well as the violent acts they, meaning women, are committing, tells the story. Your thoughts on this point are needed. See, I think I said that I was worried when I started to notice, and I was like, I thought Megan was clever with her wordplay. I thought she had like a old school kind of Houston flow, but I said I think she's pigeonholing herself with this over sexualization of it, right? And pretty much that's what happened. And a lot of them now are falling into the same trap. But like Courtney said, I don't think it's just this music, because it's bigger than that. Because when I don't watch any of this stuff, but I see it on Instagram, when I watch Baddies, when I watch Love and Hip Hop, and I watch even the basketball wives and all this kind of stuff, to me, it makes women look very shallow. It makes them look very, very petty. It makes them look materialistic. It makes them look, narcissistic. I say this. I always look and say this ain't a good look for women. They look super catty, like they can't get together, and like it's just not the media period has always portrayed us in a foul way, and so I think we put a little bit too much on rap's plate. Right, we started saying, "Oh, it's the music, it's the music, it's the music," but I mean, Sexy Red's no secret no more. Like
I like Doja Cat though. Doja Cat got a dope ass flow. They try to put her more in the pop lane, but really she just sticking Doja.
If she just stopped with the devil worship shit, I would be cool.
Blame one thing.
I would be cool if she just stopped doing the devil worshiping. Other than that, I think she's unique. I think she got a good flow too.
Yeah.
I think she do that shit just for shock value.
I'm pretty sure she does. It works.
People don't react to it because the devil ain't real. So she
okay.
Because he's shocked.
Okay, devil ain't real.
With the other girl, Meg, when she first came out and she was spitting and shit, that pimp shit, and was trying to say she the daughter of Tony Snow and shit, like I was like, okay, let me see. But then, like you said, she kind of pigeonholed herself into the savage twerking baddie, and then with the whole court thing, just her reaction to like the whole lies and shit. My thing is, you can't talk that I'm a pimp shit and sexual liberation for a woman, and then be lying about the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like she crying and talking about how they exposed her about the people she said she didn't sleep with, that she ended up sleeping with and shit. And it was like, not saying that if she did get shot in the foot, that made it deserve it, but it just ruined her credibility for me. You know what I'm saying? As far as she came out as a pimp, get a nigga money, shit like that. Then she crying on the stand. And then after that, she making an angry song to the dude that she was with. So it's like, that ain't no pimp shit.
Hey, but you know, it had been. It came out a while back too that she wasn't really like that. She went to college and all this shit. She wasn't ever really in the streets. So I kind of expected that for her.
Yeah, and that was my thing. Like that. So I think with Meg, it might have been that she pigeonholed herself in that sexuality, but then it also could have been that a lot of her shit ain't adding up, and people starting to kind of wonder if she a phony. Like,
it's not just her though. I mean, she's the poster child, but I'm saying overall, it's not just her. Like, if you look at all the female rappers now,
I honestly like Glorilla. Like, she got that old Memphis flow to me. Like,
she's too much of a stud for me.
She reminds me of them old Memphis songs.
I could never have a woman who talks like that.
Hey,
bro, let's go to the store and get some blunt, cuz. Like, hold on, baby. Don't be calling my phone like that and shit. I'd be pissed off every time she calls me. You need to go to the store, nigga. Get some bread.
You need them on the spot. Just in case.
I ain't never coming home no more. I'm not dealing with no stud.
Oh my gosh.
What you doing? Find yourself saying, what you doing with that? You ain't finna use that on me. Be quiet, cuz. Be quiet, cuz. No, I'm good. I'm good. What was he saying in the movie? Hush, little rabbit. What was he saying in American Me?
A little puppet or something.
Little puppet.
Little puppet.
What are you doing, bro?
Oh my God.
Jesse says, Kamar, you just got to know where to look and who to look for on these streaming platforms. You know what? There's good music coming down the pipe. And I was just repeating what Joe Budden was saying. If you live in the Podverse, he's pretty credible. And he was a rapper who had some success. So he was saying that the music industry is on its last legs, and because the profit the model has to change.
But just like him, he was dope and he wasn't mainstream. Besides Pump It Up, his shit was all
I
like
just know Pump It
mixtape,
Up. I don't
underground.
know. I know Pump It Up, and then he was with Slaughterhouse, and this is
And
just
they never sold no records. They just had a reputation.
Just my honest opinion that I preferred out of 4 of them, he was the 4th favorite in Slaughterhouse. Like,
oh wow,
it was Joel Ortiz I fuck with, then Crooked Eye, then Royce the 5'9", then Joe Buttons.
I always thought they was overrated. Just because you can rap don't mean you can make good songs. I never heard a song that they made where I was like, that's some dope shit.
Man,
like
Joel Ortiz
when 40
and
them got together and did Mount Westmore, there was some dope songs. Them dudes, I'm just like, wait a minute, you gotta have a good beat too. This beat suck ass. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, that's the East Coast. I mean, well, I ain't saying they all East Coast, but
trying to do too much, right? Like, come on. Mama Jenkins said she didn't understand. Which part didn't you understand, Mama Jenkins? She said that was a money move. Jesse Perry said, fuck Eminem. He would never even make my top white rappers list.
She didn't understand Dr. Dre saying that. Probably it was a money.
Oh, move. Okay. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you.
Get that, generate that buzz. Get your
Why would Dr. Dre don't need buzz? He doesn't need.
Why not?
He's getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Why not get some bread? I mean,
right? Maybe he want to be talked about. You know, people love
hip hop is his business.
They was already talking about Dre because he's getting he's got a Lifetime Achievement Award and he's got a star. In fact, they were talking about him even more because he beat the hell out of Dee Barnes in 1990. And there's several other women who Dre put hands and feet on. So his name was already ringing in the streets. He's already hot.
Well, maybe he really feel like he's the best rapper.
Mr. Dre, Mr. NWA, Mr. AK. I like Eminem.
And I used to watch Pump It Up. I'm old enough to I loved Pump It Up because it was an alternative to Rap City and Yo MTV Raps, and it came on regular TV.
What was that?
It was a show like Yo MTV Raps.
I remember the box
the sister. No, this was Pump It Up. Dee Barnes was the host. Video. Yes, it was a show. She interviewed people. She interviewed Ice Cube after he dissed NWA, and Dre beat her up.
Way back.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's why he beat her up.
You know damn well she wasn't supposed to be talking to Ice Cube.
NWA.
He knew that.
But he didn't beat up Ice Cube, and Ice Cube is the one who dissed him. He beat up Dee Barnes.
Because she knew she wasn't supposed to be talking to him. Was that her boyfriend?
No, she was interviewing Cube on the show.
What I'm saying was Dr. Dre her boyfriend.
No.
Oh, so he just beat her up randomly?
He caught her at an industry party and beat the shit out of her in front of a club full of people. Beat her down.
Oh, he beat her up? I thought he snapped. I mean, it ain't right to put his hands on her, period, but Eminem said he choked Dee Barnes.
No, he punched her
in the bathroom.
He punched her, he kicked her, he rammed her head and mushed her head into a wall.
God damn.
And don't get me wrong, I still bump the Chronic. I'm not saying I don't like Dre's music. I'm just saying
they're gonna bump the Chronic until Netflix come out with the special about Dee Barnes, just like they did R. Kelly. Motherfuckers knew what R. Kelly did. They didn't.
I don't think this was gonna. You know what? And I'm gonna say I don't think this was gonna go too far because first of all, she got a settlement. This how silly she was. She got a settlement for some cash, and what she said was, well, part of my settlement, Dr. Dre got to make some music for me because she was trying to make it as an artist too. And he gave her some throwaway beats and that was it. So there's no, people have known about this forever. This was on the front page, everything.
It got to be put on Netflix,
man. It don't matter.
But Misha Lay had a movie though. Remember?
Right.
Well, I don't know if
as
you knew
terrible
about
as it was, right?
He had a little movie.
That's who he beat up. He smacked Dee Barnes.
Look, so it's gonna be Surviving Dre.
He beat up Michelle A.
Yeah, I thought
he Barnes up too. He punched her at least 3 times with a closed fist.
He was beating up Misha Lay.
I don't know. I remember them talking saying he slapped her.
No, listen to her tell the story. She'll tell you. She says over and over. He then punched me. He then mashed my head on the wall. He punched me again with a closed fist. He kicked me. Listen to her tell the story.
Eminem kind of watered it down.
Movie.
Yeah. He put. I'm surprised it ain't been on Tubi yet. The rapper.
It came out some years ago. So yeah.
Yeah, and this was 30 years ago when it happened. So
that's wild.
He said every Gransberry said agreed. It's not just the music, but the impact of all forms of entertainment having on us as a whole is messed up. How do we flip the script and bring to the forefront a more positive image of our culture? I'm gonna get on Courtney once again in these Facebook streets. It started some heat today because she said we ain't got no culture.
Oh yeah, man. And then people's going back and forth, and everybody like to go back and forth and shit.
Are they mad about that?
Yeah, people got mad about that. And then somebody got the comment, one dude, but he live in Quebec. I'm like, hey, you ever been in America? You even live here? He's like, oh my bad, I got Caribbean descent. I'm like, yeah, we ain't even talking about you. I'm talking about the average American black person, not you, with plenty culture, I assume. So like, yeah, we really don't. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I think about anybody else, like I said, even here in America with all these white folks, there's so many different ones. The Irish, they got their Irish traditions. They can tell you about Ireland and their families, or which other we got?
Well, Polish. They wasn't snatched from it and have it beat out of them. Like shit, we was snatched from our culture.
And that's what I was going to say. We do.
And so I'm not denying any of that. So it's just the fact of just admitting and knowing we don't. And some people argue down. Yes, we do. We do got a culture. It's like not
what
saying
the crazy.
Well, that's what I think. That's what Kamar was trying to put in there. Kamar, you trying to jump in there? Go ahead.
I was going to say we do. You know what I mean? We do have culture, but a lot of our people reject our culture. You know what I mean? Like, first off, this is something like a lot of people don't understand. Knowledge of self is health. It's understanding your body, how your body works. What do you need? Like if your liver go bad, what do you need to eat? What do you need to intake to help your liver get better? That's knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? So like we got a lane, we got a whole culture. Our culture is that knowledge of self, health and wellness, mentally. Like how do your brain work? How to fix it if it works? You know what I mean? The psychology of it all. We got the first doctors, the first surgeons. Like this is our lane. We just reject that first of all. And you know what I mean? The other parts of our culture we reject. How we treat our women. Like we got a whole culture that everybody copy off of, but we just rejecting the shit. I feel like.
Okay. Courtney, I want to look at that a little bit more, even that statement that we don't actually have a culture, because I think a lot of us have figured that we thought hip hop was our culture, soul food was our culture, the way we talk, the way we, even our language, this is our culture. A lot of us are under the belief that this is our culture, and so you disagree with that.
And I mean, I guess you can call that our culture, the music we make, the arts. I feel like the arts, but I guess when I think of culture, I think of the root of who people really are. Like I went to this event with just a whole bunch of Latinos, I'm gonna say, and all the Latinos were representing their different little countries, had their different little flags, they had the different little foods from each one of their countries that was special to them, the different things they celebrate, different clothing they wear and scarves, and we ain't got none of that shit. Even when we want to celebrate being black, we'll go get some African garments. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's to say we may all be from Africa, but it's like us, like I said, is American black people. Because you leave the country, anybody else can tell you about themselves and where they're from and have their special foods and their plantain and their goosey and this and that and samosas.
See, I feel like I can do that too, though. Like if you put me in Europe, I feel like I would dress the way we dress in our community, and our food, I would throw some rib tips on the grill and do my sauce and all that. And they'd be like, hey, this is delicious. I never had anything like this. And I'd be like, well, this is how we do it in America. This is our culture. Hey, man, what are you listening to? This shit's bumping. What do you say his name was? Pimp C. Oh, my gosh. I feel like our culture is deep. When I throw them some books, when I start showing them stuff, and they'll say, where does that come from? It comes from Black America. It doesn't come from African Americans. It comes from Black America, foundational Black Americans. That's why I say we're the only ones that are unique to this planet, because we were created by America. Our race, our cultural identity, Blackness was created by America, because it's an infusion of everything with African on the bottom, right? They fill the glass with African, then you dump a whole bunch of other shit in there and shake it up, and that's what you get with Black Americans.
I think the difference is a perspective of culture, because you're talking about where we are now, and then I talk about, when you talk about culture, I'm talking about where we come from, who we were, how do we act, how do we eat, how did you know what I mean? How do we treat each other? You know what I mean?
So are we talking about culture or heritage? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
and it might be heritage because people are able to
Because-
represent where they came from. They're able to
right. So I
clothing
think
from,
that's where the kind of
yeah.
disconnect, because like there's gang culture, there's
Right.
subculture.
Right.
So when people get together on common bonds and interests, that is now a culture.
Technically, it's culture.
But when you refer to like heritage of like you said, you can't say, well, my grandparents came over here in 1893, you know, landed in New York. We can't say shit like that because unfortunately we were snatched from it. It was beat out of us. And the fucked up thing is what we were able to retain in secret by disguising it in other shit has been demonized to the point where we reject our heritage. Like, I can show you how Black Christianity is African spirituality.
Right.
I grew up Kojic.
Right.
Kojic is entrenched in hoodoo. Like from, okay, so when motherfuckers always singing about the River Jordan and shit like that, African spirituality reverences water because it's believed that the spirits come from the water because, you know, the water break and shit. Just all kind of, but, or even where we used to tarry for the Holy Spirit, Jesus, 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 until you start speaking gibberish. That shit is African spirituality, the wailing booth and being rolled by a loa, or now dancing in the spirit and being slaves. So even the African heritage that our forefathers were brilliant enough to try to hide so that we could find it, we even reject that shit because we have been indoctrinated into believing that it's demonic.
Let me catch the chat room really quick because I want to respond to Kamar's comment. Everett says, with all due respect, you'll never be able to take my culture out of my home. Now, if people don't want to experience it, that's another story. I agree. I mean, what you do in your home, right? And so on and so on and so forth, especially when you're putting it into your children. My sister Booker said, we have a deep culture. Okay. I said we got a culture of dysfunction, but hold on though. Hey, I said Glorilla says cuz because we say cuz in Milwaukee so much. We've been saying that before we even knew what the trip was in Milwaukee. Everybody say cuz almost like, what up, cuz? Like, that's just a thing.
She got this shit that be knocking now called Yeah Glow, and it got that old Memphis beat. It make you want to gangster
I've
walk.
heard it. It's not my flavor. Not my flavor. He said, Everett said, it's what I create and others are willing to share.
Right.
Yeah. Mama Jenkins said, Outlaw listeners have learned today we have many cultural, but it's how we express and blend into society. Shay said Joe Budden is trash. A lot of people say so. A lot of people love him. I just thought his comments, that what he talked about with the state of the music industry and the female rappers was interesting. Sister Brooker said this because of the slave trade, we lost our culture. Our ancestors got it beat out of them.
True.
Jesse says we already know how Dr. Dre got his star on the Walk of Fame. Uh-oh. When he beat up Miss LA. Tupac said a lot of stuff about Dre. He did, and I ain't gonna repeat none of it. But come on. What I heard you say, we reject it, and you say like where we come from, right? And when I say rib tips, or when I say ribs, or when I say collard greens or fried chicken, or when I say blues music, that does come from where we come from, because my family comes from Mississippi.
I ain't say it didn't.
No. Let's hear what I'm saying, because I'm not disagreeing with you. We were talking about perspective. I'm saying there's truth to the fact that a lot of us do reject some ideas of this.
But they didn't have
identify
African barbecue sauce.
I don't identify with Africa at all, and I don't claim it, and I don't say I'm African, and I don't look when people say your culture. I don't reference it. I'm talking about Kev, right? We're talking about the world-class smartass, and I know people say, Kev, how could you say that? And a lot of it is because they reject us too. Like they have no interest unless we spending some money with them. They don't really have an interest in building a relationship with us. And so when I look at their cultures and I look at mine, of course I understand somewhere a long ass time ago, The first Barnes stepped off a boat, and his name was probably Humbabagoo, right? But it's been so long since that dude came around that when I say my culture is based on where I come from, my family comes from the American South. So my culture identifies closely with the South. That's all I'm saying, Kamar. I'm not saying that you were right or wrong. I was just looking at it from my perspective, saying, for me, when you say where you come from, Kev, I can trace at least 4 great grandparents to the American South. There's no connection that I found.
Right.
Maybe I need to go and dig.
But you know, that's why it's a matter. That's why it's all a matter of perception on how you view culture. Like Real said, what are you talking about, culture or heritage? You know what I mean? So it's a matter of perspective.
I feel like my heritage is down there too, though. In addition to my culture, that's how
it can be that.
I grew up eating hog head cheese and
But you know, a lot of people like what you know, but we also reference our culture being like we also referenced our culture being is what we see today.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And this ain't our culture. This shit is fucking madness.
I guess I think about when I see some black folks that do know their Native American side. And then you do see them at the ceremonies. You do see them with the headdress. You do see them with their grandmas that have different authentic pieces and outfits. And, you know, that's why I say, you know, we may have some fly ass clothes or we may have to put some swag on other people's products, but we don't have anything traditional to us type deal. And I mean, I know why. You know, I understand why, but it's still shit. We don't. You know what I'm saying? It's cool.
Man, we can't even agree on
their story.
Hey, Courtney, we can't even agree on what to call each other.
Exactly. Shit. Are we colored? Are we people of color? Are we niggas?
Talk about culture.
Black.
We don't even know what to call each other.
You know, don't call me a person of color. Don't call me colored. I ain't colored. That's like shit. Look. So you know what I mean?
I think we all that. I think we're all of that. Like I'm not. That's me. Once again, I'm not one of those people who's very finicky about being black or being like. I don't want nobody to refer to me as colored. Because I think it's derogatory in how it was utilized in the past. It doesn't come. It comes from a place that is not positive for us because that's how a lot of them identified us, and they were wannabe liberals by saying colored instead of saying nigger. And a lot of those signs said coloreds need not apply. So I wanted to make that point. But some people feel the same way about the word nigger.
Are you a person of color?
No, a person of color, I would consider myself. I would say that.
But you ain't colored though.
But I don't like to refer to myself as colored. Now we going.
You don't want the ED on it, like some people don't want the ER on the other word.
We splitting hairs because I was finna say, if I'm with y'all and we at the Sherman Phoenix and it's Courtney, Rail, and Kamara myself, and I walk up and y'all say, "Oh, what up, nigga? You late, nigga? Oh man, look at this nigga. I ain't tripping." But if it's a bunch of white people standing around there, if you say that, I'm gonna look at you like, "Hey man. Don't be saying that shit around them." People say, "Kev, why you putting on the front for the white folks?" All I'm doing is removing the possibility that one of them might use it and use us as an excuse. Well, Courtney says it to you. God damn it, why can't I say it? If we stick to the script and just talk amongst each other, it doesn't change anything. I understand that, but that's just the way I deal with it. So if I got a partner who every time we go in any store, anywhere, he always nigga, I'd be like, "Hey man, freeze all that stupid shit, man. You ain't got to do all that." Like I feel like you doing too much. Even if we in a restaurant full of all black people, if you said it, I'd be like, okay, but it's still like, why? What point are you trying to make? Oh, what up, nigga? Just because I'm not as uncomfortable as I would be if building was in there. Because as soon as the alcohol hit their system, that what you think the first thing they're gonna say is, "Can I ask you a question, Kevin?" And I've always wondered this. Like, how many times has a white person came up to me and started it just like that? "Kevin, can I ask you a question? I just want to know." As I hear you guys.
What's the question, Kev? What they ask you? What they be saying?
I hear you guys like you're N-word this, you're N-word that, and you're my N-word, and I'm your N-word, and I just want to know, why is it bad if I say it? Like, that has happened to me so many times.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I hear songs. I hear you guys on, like, I watch movies and I see you guys, you use it all the time. And I'm just like, why can't I say it? I've gone to school with a lot of white people who from the Northeast and the Northwest who said it. Like,
And they
and
want to
I'm
say
like,
it so bad.
because you can't, because part of our culture is I can say it and you can't. That's part of our culture. That's a cultural thing. Come in the hood and say that shit, you're gonna be getting chased around. Unless you Eminem, apparently, because Eminem is a honorable nigga, like right. He's a honorary nigga, I guess, according to Dre and a bunch of other rappers. I hear a lot of rappers who are my favorite rappers say how much they love Eminem. I heard Tretch talking about it, and I was like, damn, I wouldn't even think Eminem was on your level, but Tretch is like, no, that's my guy. So I wanted to touch on something that Ever was saying. We try us being neutral. A lot of times I'm not trying to be neutral, but sometimes I'll play devil's advocate on the issue, but sometimes people are just not informed. Like they'll bring a whole situation to the conversation, but they won't know what they're talking about, or they won't have the facts to support it, or they have some jackass asinine reasoning behind it. So I just try to stay in the middle until the facts come out. This is like reserving the right to make up your mind. I'd like to know the whole story before I jump out the window. That's why I said there's no doubt in my mind that Trump probably had a meaning behind the whole bloodbath thing, but I wanted to hear the conversation so I could understand the context myself. Context is everything, and it can start a whole hot mess if you take something out of context. We see that every day, and I ain't even mean it like that. Well, your ass is on fire now. So, but yeah, man, it's about to. I guess we're about to have some snow, so garden season. I have to go back in the closet. They said we'll have 3 inches of snow this weekend. Kamar, your event is when? Next weekend?
No, May 4th.
Oh, May 4th. Okay. Because I'm like, he getting mighty close and we ain't had a meeting. Like, this is gonna be wild. Okay. What else you got coming up this week, man?
I'll be at the Winter Farmers Market Sunday on 53rd and Capitol. Saturday, 53rd and Capitol. But you can still go to the House of Vitality at the Sherman Phoenix, because we'll still be open.
Okay. Real, what you got coming up? Because I see you, Mr. Home Improvement. People hitting you up now saying they want you to do some work for them.
Oh no, and I'll probably tell them no. I don't even like doing it for myself. But like I said, when it come down to paying somebody else or me figuring the shit out, as long as it ain't electric or plumbing, I'm gonna try to figure that shit out.
Okay.
So just still working on the upstairs. Also, just outlined my my lesson on emotional intelligence for the event May 4th, and I was just like, is it gonna be in the food area, or like, do I need to put a PowerPoint together?
You're gonna have a whole room.
Oh, okay. Do I need to put a PowerPoint together, something like that?
You can. You definitely can. There's some space for you.
We gotta have another meeting, because I remember
y'all had one already.
No, we need. I just remember we was talking about in the inbox, and I remember that day I was drunk, so I couldn't do messages. And we way past the messages now, so we got to talk about this again.
So that's what I've been working on. I got it outlined, so now I'm about to bust it out.
Hey, look, we all need to meet up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was just telling Kev, we need to meet up there so we can check the sound and all that.
Yeah, I should be mobile again by next week.
Where you may want to set up, you know what I mean? Get everything already situated so we know what we headed into within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you eased my mind by saying it would be in April, because I was thinking May. I'm like, Kamar might be short because this is too short of a.
I did say May. You mean the other way around?
Yeah. I mean the other way around. You're right.
Sexy with your thoughts.
Man, all that.
Oh yeah. I'm working early, man. We working early. We getting this shit out the way, knocking all these goals down, and so it could be on and popping.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I gotta look at them dates because I got two graduations that I'm gonna have to deal with in the month of May. So we'll talk though, I'm sure. Courtney, y'all got y'all little buddy event coming up Friday, right?
That's right, Friday. So tomorrow we have our third Thursday event. That will be at Rise and Grind from 5 to 9 p.m. The pitch competition. So if anybody want to come pitch their business at the end of the year, you got a shot at $10,000. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
That's tomorrow, Rise and Grind.
Really hit your account.
That's right. So tomorrow, Rise and Grind, 5 to 9. Then Friday from 5 to 6:30, the mayor, because he's not going to be at the event the whole time. He has other engagements. So from 5 to 6:30, he will be at the Chamber of Commerce. If you got questions, you want to pop up on him, you know what I'm saying, run up on him and sweat him, hey, 5 to 6:30, he'll be there. Then I will be at the gathering in Potawatomi Saturday with the Chamber of Commerce, you know. So I'll be there from like 11 until about 3 if you want to see me. I got 2 free tickets. Oh, we should do a giveaway because I got 2 tickets to give away. Woo, Kev, do a giveaway real quick. I guess it's too late. End of the show. Whoops.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, you had them the whole show. You could have done like I don't know. And you can still put it in the People's News Network or however you want to do
let's
it.
figure
like,
it out. Let's do a giveaway.
Attach it. Yeah, right. We got a day, so why not go for it? Right. Go hard.
Right.
No, that's dope. And good luck with you and little buddy, and I hope y'all have a good time. I'm not.
Don't say it like that. It sounds like we're going on a date. Good luck.
Well, I
with you
mean,
and
I
little
don't know.
buddy.
I don't know. You might have a picture out there floating somewhere. I don't know. I will have to see. Like Courtney will be smiling because it's at work.
Don't be blocking me, man. Don't block me. What you?
When you at work, you at work. So you might have to. Like, I don't know. It's totally understandable.
I'm gonna get a photo. I'm gonna get one.
Right?
Just
Why not?
Outlaws.
Right. Yep. And say, I love you, man. Get him to sign your poster, right?
See,
I love you,
man.
man.
Extra.
Right. I'm just saying, you know, you got to love on little buddy. Little buddy need love too. I'm shout out to Robert Miranda for coming on the show, man. I appreciate his contribution always. I got to get him back. I didn't know he had a meeting. You could have told me, Robert. You could have told me. Wow. We'll talk again. We'll bring him on. I just tried to bring a Latino perspective in. I really wanted to go into more on where the Latino community was at, because that's why I said, do y'all have an agenda? I wanted to know what their agenda was, because we're all minorities, and so we're considered minorities. Right?
Everybody except for the white man.
Right. Well, we talked about that the other night on who makes up the majority of the city. So that was the idea of bringing him in. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody who shares the show, who's supporting us, who supports Kamar with the House of Vitality, who rocks with the Chamber with Courtney and Alki's Juices in the Village and whatever she's doing, because Courtney be all up on the radio station with the Village, and it'd be like, fuck Outlaw Radio. It's all good though. I understand. I'm joking for you. I'm joking. For you. Like, right. She's finna start throwing up signs and shit.
I ain't doing no signs in a long time.
I know you finna We got to get real books out here, man. We got to get this wine popping. We got to get these hemp cigars out here. Man, it's a bunch of different ways to grow. Y'all come check us out Monday. We'll have Samantha and Ticey on and Crystal Ship and give a blowout for Women's History Month. It'll be dope. It's always dope to hear Black women talk about what they're doing in the community if it's positive. I'm really, really flabbergasted by people not having outrage about some of the policies, some of the stuff our politicians are saying right in our face, the obvious game that's being played on us. I'm really surprised. I'm baffled even that people ain't even more upset. People ain't even talking about the referendum, not understanding that if their homeowners is going to once again increase your property taxes in addition to whatever increases were coming naturally, because the city is already, they've been playing games with property taxes for homeowners for years. And so y'all just keep on letting them do whatever it is that they want to do. That's like, what can I tell you, right? I can lead a horse to water. I can't make him think. So it's one of those things where, you know, and Dion says, and other people, he's not the only one who's Kevin, no, you love Milwaukee. You ain't really going, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know if there's a safe haven for us in this country at all. Yeah. I think the only way we really going to bubble up is a real serious do-it-yourself plan. We've been talking about, in my family, finding alternative income streams based on what we do versus the work we do for the plantation, and making it work, you know, on both sides. And you know, the popular discussion around my dinner table is always that you can't get rich working for somebody else. You're just helping them with their dream. You can get the capital to start your own business, but you're never going to be put in a situation where you're going to become, quote unquote, the man. So we got to start thinking in a do-it-yourself mentality. And I've been one who's saying, well, everybody can't be an entrepreneur in this kind of thing. But if you think about it, it's something you can do most of the time.
That's right.
You get some money for.
That's right.
You really have to start thinking about it. There's probably something you could do that you could be capitalizing on.
Yeah.
For some of us, the hardest thing that we encounter is trying to find that thing. So sometimes this is where when my brothers get to talking about meditation and sitting in silence and really going inside, doing your shadow work and really trying to explore all the deep, dark, dank areas of your mind and your soul. That's where you're going to find the motivation to do some of that stuff at. So for all the people who be laughing at me, like sometimes, Kev, y'all get a little too woke on there. I get people saying all kinds of stuff about, we get to talking about energy and, spirits and all this kind of stuff. But it's all in the game. Anything you're trying to do to improve yourself should be looked at as just that, an improvement. So I will see y'all Monday, literally and figuratively, and we'll have a great time. Hopefully Courtney can show up again and contribute like she did tonight. Well, we gotta check her calendar, right? She's like, I don't know about Monday. Mondays is bad for me. Other than that, as Mama Jenkins said, we'll make it do what it do, man. Y'all enjoy this weekend, man. Spend some time with your family. Try to do something positive. Keep your head.
Oh, we can go sledding.
That like people don't say, right? No, we tropical people. Y'all be safe out here, man. Especially when you drive and try to stay out of situations that might compromise your position. And always, always, always remember to never turn a deaf eye or deaf ear on what's going on in our community by dismissing it and saying, well, that's them and not me. Because what ultimately happens is you become the type of person whose criticism of the community outweighs your contribution. And so on and so on and so forth. You become a coon. I will see y'all Monday, man. Peace and love. Outlaws for life.
Peace.
Peace.